It's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live at the Bike, another week of Live at the Bike. My name's Bart Hansen. I'm joined by Dave Tuckman. Tonight is Monday night. This is the first and only cash game with hole cards, Dave. Webcast. Everything you see on TV is all a tournament. Live at the Bike, you see cards, you get commentary, and it's a cash game. Monday night is limit night. We're going to be doing 8-16 limit hold'em. And tell me what you think about limit hold'em as compared to no limit, Dave.
Well, you know, it's a completely different game, completely different animal. And the wonderful thing about this show is we see every hand. It's completely unedited. You don't just see, you know, why is that guy bluffing? Well, we didn't see the last hour of it.
Right.
This is what's great about this show.
And of course, limit hold'em's a big pre-flop game as opposed to no limit, where you can, you know, outplay the players post-flop. You can do that in limit too, but you know,
right.
Normally, unless you're playing against some really good competition, people are going to make that extra call for those
right.
extra bets.
And if implied odds is, you know, all about no limit hold'ems, all about implied odds, this game is not really. You really want to be ahead, big cards.
Right. Draw sometimes in multi-way pods.
Of course.
That type of thing. Well, without further ado, let's get to it. Let's go to the table, and we're going to start by introducing the players at the table.
Well, in seat one, we've got Antonio Franco. And Antonio Franco's got about $100 in front of him. Obviously, chip. You know, your stacks don't really mean that much because it's limit hold'em.
These green chips are $2 chips, Dave. It's a 4-8 chip structured game.
Yeah, and seat two, we've got Alan Lai. Alan Lai is a new prop here, actually. Everybody familiar with Live at the Bike is familiar with Alan, and he actually just started a couple of days ago, and he's propping at the bike now. Seat three, we've got William Zhang Sun. And there's William. Seat four, we've got Jesse Nagy. Has the Oakland A's hat on. Seat five, we've got Eugene Tanaka. And seat six, we've got Art Alvarez. Seat seven, we've got Jerry Gerstle. He's a regular on the show. Seat eight, we've got Harold Berger, also a regular. And seat nine, we've got Alex Connor.
Now, this game normally does play, you know, it's fairly big, Dave. A lot of chips, as, you know, any 4-8 chip structured game. Just like a 20-40 game or a 40-80 game or a 4-8 game, right? Now we're using $2 chips.
I mean, look at that. I mean, look at seat three right now. Look at all those chips he just won.
Yeah.
And that's why these games, usually a lot of action in these games, contrasting, say, a 1-2 game or even a 3-6 game. The 4-8 game just gets a lot of chips in that middle, and it really, you know, kind of a frenzy of action.
Now, one of the other things, too, about limit that I always like, you know, if you're kind of in a little bit of a, I guess maybe an impatient mood, or you're just an action junkie, the game moves much faster than No Limit does, Dave. I mean, I got to tell you, sometimes I'm bothered by, you know, sitting at a No Limit table and these people just taking, you know, for eternity, you know, during their turns.
You having some patience problems? Yeah, obviously, if you're going to play any kind of poker, you need some patience and discipline.
Right.
But No Limit especially,
yeah.
Patience is at a premium in that game.
Now, this pot was actually limped around. Antonio open limped on the button with ace-6 offsuit. Now, C2 looks like he's got a king-jack. He checked the flop, and he's going to bet right into the turn here. Actually, king-queen. And he's going to take it down. Well, a lot of people will make a raise there on the button, Dave, with, you know, with ace-6, try to pick up the blinds or have position, drive it throughout the hand. Although I do remember, and I don't know if it was in that small stakes Hold'em book or Hold'em for advanced players, they actually gave that example, and that's kind of the Bible for some of our viewers, those books, where if you have a person in the blinds, people in the blinds that aren't going to fold, and you have something like ace-rag where you don't necessarily want to fold it, that actually might be a hand where you would limp in on the button in a small stakes game. I personally probably wouldn't do that. I like to drive and use my position.
I mean, you want to put a little fold equity in there.
Right.
You know? But yeah, once in a while, I mean, I've done it once or twice where I've actually limped in, open limped on the button.
Right.
Because I actually wanted to play the guy in the big blind heads up.
Now we have a raise here on the button. Pocket sevens. We had a limp in late position with queen 9 of hearts, and we're heads up here. We're all clubs.
Yeah, not a real good flop for either hand.
Yeah. Williams going to bet here. And Antonio's going to check call here with the queen
Well-
9. Art is out of the hand. Wow, neither player has a club. Turns
Let's see if
an ace.
anybody takes control over here.
Check, check.
Well, this is probably going to go check, check again, I assume.
Well, and the river is a jack, and they're going to chop this one up, Dave.
Now you throw a little. Ooh.
And Antonio's going to bet.
And can you call here if you're in? Well,
Well, he's not going to call.
no.
And there you go. Antonio bets the guy off of a chop pot,
Yeah, he earns himself about half that pot. Obviously, he would have gotten half the pot anyway.
which is always interesting to see in limit hold'em. You know, when somebody bets someone off of a pot that would have been split.
Interesting question here. We try to keep the show as interactive as possible, so you can go to liveatthebike.com. You can email us at live@thebike.com. And you can also go to there and follow a link to our 2+2 thread.
That's right.
And I don't imagine we'll have a full contact thread tonight, but possibly.
Possibly you can check that out too.
But our first post here on 2+2 from Quicksilver: why is the Monday night game usually 8:16 and not 10:20?
Well, we'll get to that
Yeah.
after this hand. C8 brought it in here with ace-jack suited. Interesting, C3 mucked an ace-10 of clubs, Dave, something you usually don't see at this level. But Art called with queen-jack offsuit. And Harold's going to make a continuation bet there with the ace-jack. And he's going to take it down. So C3 over there, that's William. Mucking the ace-10 suited to, an early position raiser. That's something that's pretty standard that I will do, Dave. But
Right.
again, at this level, usually you don't see it.
Sometimes you see 3 betting out of it.
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
Now, and he says, why is it usually 8:16 and not 10:20? Not a big deal, I guess, but it seems to me that using $5 chips would make things easier.
Well, that's an interesting question because we actually used to have a 10-20 game here at the bike that used to go daily. It's been dead for about 8 months now.
Well-
right? 8 months or so.
Yeah, some people might say it was dead for a couple of years before that,
Right.
too.
10-20, you're moving the game to a 2-4 structured game, so there's going to be half as much chips in the pot. And I got to be honest with you, Dave, this game plays bigger than the 10-20 game.
Yeah, and obviously,
People see more chips in the pot, and they just chase more often.
right, exactly. And obviously there's no difference. I mean, it's almost the same amount of money, but, more chips, people get a little, they get excited about it. There's actually a game, I know there's a 25-50 game that's played, a 25-50 limit hold'em game, played with $5 chips.
Yeah, that's
5-10
crazy.
structure. And the pots get so huge that people just get crazy about it.
Yeah.
So actually, we have this 8-16 game, and then our next biggest game actually goes right to 2040.
Right.
And the 2040 game has proven to be difficult to get on the show.
Limped around here. We've got a late position limper and the blinds. And the late position limper's got queen 9. He flops the second nut flush, queen 9 of spades. And he's going to check it, Dave.
Yeah, and now C8,
Turns a 7.
Harold has a king.
And Harold is not, well, now he is going to bet. So I imagine Antonio was slow playing this. Again, I don't necessarily know. Wow, Dave, and he's just going to call in.
I
And this
like
is
the play, actually. I got to be honest with you. I like this play here. Because, you know what? Harold would not call a raise, and you might get a check call here. Harold's probably going to check. Oh, no,
he's
Harold's
going to come
bet
out
it.
and bet. And now Antonio
You're
is
not
going to
scared
raise.
of anything, and you're in position. Now, if you're out of position, you've got to raise it. But if you're in position, the guy's got to bet into you again anyway. Or he's going to check, and then you're almost, check, and then you're going to bet, and he's going, well, I've induced this bluff. I've got to pay him off. And Harold's not going to pay him off, though, is he?
Well, he can't beat a 7. He can't beat a higher king, and he can't beat a flush. There isn't a whole lot he can beat here.
I mean, come on. And Antonio's raising you in the river.
And Harold's going to call, and Antonio's going to take it
Wow.
down. I don't know, Dave. I don't know if I really agree with you there. I think I probably would have bet the flop.
Okay.
I just, there's so much money to be made in limit hold'em. Harold probably would have check called the entire way, might have even made a move towards the end. And you might get somebody to call with a dangling spade there in first position. There was a third guy in the hand, as opposed to playing it tricky in that manner. And
I actually agree with you. I would rather bet on the flop too.
Yeah.
But once you check the flop, and then you get somebody to bet into you, why raise the turn?
well, I guess if you're not scared of someone possibly having a nut flush and maybe making him
They've got it. They're not going to go anywhere anyway.
draw it. Well, yeah, but wouldn't
can
you
charge
want to
him
make
for
it?
it,
Yeah,
right.
wouldn't you want to charge it? I'm always a fan of jamming those pots.
I mean, I actually like betting on the flop, but once you decide not to bet the flop, and you're in position against the better, I'll let him bet into me.
Four-way action here, limped around. king 8-9 with a couple of diamonds. Art has a flush draw. Antonio has bottom 2 pair, and Alex has got top and bottom. Wow.
Yeah, he's got top and bottom with the king of diamonds.
Yep. And Harold's got ace 8 with the ace of diamonds.
This kind of hit everybody a little bit, huh?
Antonio's going to come out and bet here with bottom 2
Now, this
pair.
is one of your times. This is obviously a great example of why you want to jam it with 2 pair. You might even get 3 bets here right on the flop, huh?
Well, Alex, I think Alex did he just check call? Maybe
Yeah.
Alex bet and Antonio didn't raise.
Well, look at this. Harold has now made top and bottom
Wow.
because the ace came out.
Now we got 2 pairs, and the flush draw folded, Dave. So Antonio thought he was slow playing by just calling the flop, and he's gone from second best to third best now. And Harold's probably going to check raise 3-bet here, possibly.
Well, they both slow played it, and now Harold has got the best hand.
Well, Alex came out and bet the flop, and Antonio just called. Well, Alex bet again, and now he's going to get popped. And let's see what Harold's going to do here.
I don't think Alex... Can Alex make it 3 bets?
No, he's just going to call.
I mean, you got to be scared of a
Harold
stag
didn't
here?
even make it 3 bets here.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, can
Yeah.
you make it 3 bets with ace-8 after Antonio raises it?
And here we go to the river. The river's a diamond, and 10-4 of diamonds would have gotten there.
And that's an action killer.
And it just gets checked around. And 3 players have 2 pair here. I mean, if you're Antonio there, boy, I would really like to raise that flop. You get bet right into, you get bottom 2 pair. I'm surprised he just called there. And the guy with the flush draw, hey guys, it's limit hold'em. You can make that call
Right.
on the flop with 10-4 of diamonds.
One of the big differences in limit hold'em and no limit hold'em is obviously your implied odds are bigger in no limit hold'em, but obviously if the player you're playing against is a good player, they will bet you off your draws or make the price not right.
Right.
So obviously draws can be very expensive in no limit hold'em, and obviously once you pay your price on the flop, then you got to pay a whole nother price on the turn. While in limit hold'em, it's much easier to draw out. You know, you have the nut flush draw on the flop, you're not going anywhere. I mean, there's rarely not enough money in the pot for you not to call.
Seat 9's going to raise here out of the small blind. He's got ace-king offsuit.
4 players.
And he's going to get called in 3 spots here. So here we go. 4-way action times a double-size bet. 10-7-9 with a couple of clubs. Here's one of these times. I love being aggressive, Dave, but if I've raised an early position with ace-king, I might just check fold here to this type of flop.
This is an ugly flop
Yeah.
for your hand.
I mean, I love being tight aggressive, but you sometimes have to pick your spots, right?
I mean, the only thing he can maybe stick around, he's got the king of clubs in his hand, but even that, I mean...
Turns a 9.
I mean, having the club in his hand makes it at least a little easier if, to say, the king, he
Right.
has 3 king outs.
He actually still has the best hand, though. And the river's a club, and if no one bets, he might take it down here. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
That's amazing. Wow.
and he is going to take it down.
So we kind of eating a little crow there. But again, I mean, it's almost the type of thing like, say I raise with ace, king of spades, Dave, and the flop comes 10, 9, 8 with 2 diamonds. What am I really doing there?
No, in
You know?
that case, it's very easy. This
Yeah.
case, the only reason maybe he sticks around, like I said, is he has the king of clubs.
Right, right.
But if he had the ace of spades and the king of diamonds, it's even worse because it's less outs if you think
Right.
you need an out.
Right.
So, how was your weekend?
Oh, well, you know how it was. The big NFL weekend. Patriots made another impressive victory over a pretty quality team in Jacksonville.
Right, does their lack of a running game scare you at all?
I don't think that Corey Dillon is still like 100% healthy yet. And obviously Teddy Bruschi didn't play. But I was surprised that
really
they used
impressive.
him so sporadically.
Really impressive.
Pocket Kings here on the button.
That's Alex in seat 9.
Well, Harold's going to raise it up here with Jack 10 of spades, and we're probably going to see a 3-bet, and we do.
And that's going to price out, I believe, both blinds. But what do I know?
Wow, Antonio's going to call 3 bets cold here in the small blind with queen
In the
8
small
offsuit.
blind, I mean, he's only in for 2 chips.
Yeah, and some people are really stubborn about those blinds, Dave. And here we go to the flop.
Gotta defend.
3-way times 3. 6-3-4. Pretty good flop for Pocket Kings.
Yeah, he's got the king of clubs as well, just in case the club comes.
He bets, and Antonio's going to take one off with overcards here, Dave. Queen and an 8. And Harold wisely folds.
Yeah, Antonio's almost drawing dead here. I mean, he needs like
Running
run or
cards.
something.
Turns a 10, and that's it.
Yeah, he's drawing dead.
And notice how Harold did not call the flop. Maybe he would have got himself in trouble here with the Jack 10. And Alex is going to take it down there. River was a 7.
Now, let me ask you this. Is there ever a time, let's say you make a steal raise in the cutoff seat. Now, I'm not saying I don't really like steel raises in limit hold'em, but let's say you make the steel raise for some
You mean
reason.
with absolute garbage, you mean?
Let's say you make it with, you know, I'm trying to think of a hand that you might do it with. Jack 9, Jack 8, not garbage, but, you know, something like that. And then a pretty tight, solid player makes it 3 bets in the big blind. And I'm sorry, not in the big blind, on the button or behind you.
Right.
Both blinds fold, so you got no extra equity in the pot. Might you ever lay it down?
Not for one extra bet. There's no way. No way.
Okay.
Getting 5 to 1 on your money, I know you're out of position, but you have to take those things into account.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a raise here out of seat 1. Ace King offsuit. We got 4-way action here. Time to double size bet. Seat 1 with the Ace King. Jack 7-4 rainbow, and Jesse's got top pair. See how he's going to play it in seat 4. Gets checked to Antonio. He's going to bet. Alan calls with Ace 9 of spades. I don't really know what he's doing. Turns an ace, and now he's going to get in trouble. Seat 1's going to bet. Alan calls, and Jesse calls. So Antonio spiked the ace here on the turn. And the river's an ace, and Alan's probably going to come out and bet here, I'd imagine. No, he doesn't. And Alan just check calls.
And can Jesse overcall this? I mean, you got to think one of these players probably has an ace, right?
Well, you can't beat a higher pair than Jack's either, right?
You can't even beat Jack Queen.
Wow. If you're Alan there, don't you come out and bet on the river? I mean, if I have trips there, I'm sorry, I probably bet the river. And if the guy raises me, so be it. You make your evaluation after that. But,
right. Interesting. So I'm trying to think this out. So you got 40, 48, $52. I guess there's $52, 8 to call. You're actually getting closer to... you're getting like 6.5 to 1 on your money. So I guess no matter, even if the guy were to show you pocket aces, you would have to call with, let's say, Jack 10.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's another thing if, somebody 3-bets you and then a blind taps it. That's a big difference.
And obviously, no limit, it makes a difference.
Right.
But,
Raise.
Okay.
3 bets.
Seat 7 here is going to raise with pocket queens, and seat 9 is going to 3-bet here with ace jack offsuit. Well, that's a 3-bet or fold hand in my book. And
well,
he's
ace jack
chose to
offsuit especially,
yeah. Queens is going to cap it, and Antonio called 3-bets cold with 8-5 offsuit.
3 players.
No, he's going to be in there with 4 bets as well now.
Wow.
And this pot is already now over $100. $32 times 3.
Yep. Here
plus
we go
the
to the
blind.
flop. 7-3-3 here. Queens is still good. He's going to bet.
Now, Alex does have the ace of diamonds. So if you're going to stick around for an overcard, maybe you do stick around one more time with the ace of diamonds in your hand. But once again, a mistake can beget a mistake here.
It looked like he might have raised there, Dave. I think it was a bet and a raise. So he's really driving it forward.
Trying to get the free card, but...
Oh, he didn't raise. Okay, it looked like he had raised.
Now, if diamond comes at a turn, can you raise the turn?
Well, that's what we often... And look at Antonio. He's in there with 8-5, Dave. What's he looking for? Turns of 4. He's picked up a straight draw. He's just going to keep betting.
He's got the gut shot now. Yeah, and it's
Alex is out of there.
Jerry's showing that much strength. You know he's got an overpair.
And Antonio's going to need to spike a 6 here. He needs a 6. And the river's a king.
And Jerry should bet this as well.
Well, he's checked, and he's actually induced a bluff,
Well,
and he's going to call. And there it is. Now, obviously...
I think Antonio actually folded before he put his last chip in there.
The only thing that you can worry about there, Dave, is possibly if someone was on, the king-high flush draw on the flop.
Yeah, I was going to say you should bet it, but you know what? It was a great check to induce a bluff.
Diamond.
I wonder now, was he checking to induce a bluff, or do you think he was checking because he was a little scared?
Might have been. I don't mind a check there on the
No,
river.
it's
Unless,
fine.
I mean, obviously now that you know Antonio's in there, he bets, calls 8-5 offsuit for 3 bets. Well, you might value bet there for maybe him to call you with 7, but against any sane player, what are they going to pay you off with on the river?
Well, I'm just thinking 7. We've seen it all the time, especially in 8-16. We've seen some people pay off with ace high, right? I mean, I'm amazed at all the time. I think limit hold'em is all about value betting.
Harold's going to raise it up here out of seat 8. He's got pocket 9s. And Antonio's going to call with 5-3 suited here. Again, this is not no limit hold'em. You don't really have the implied odds to take that hand for a call to a raise, but he's going to call. We've got 3-way action. Oh, wow. Jerry flops trip kings.
Wow, and
or
Harold-
quad kings.
Yeah, Harold might get himself in trouble here. I mean, it's tough to put somebody on a king when there's trips out there.
Well, let's see how Jerry's going to play
Now,
it.
if it comes out runner, 9-9, we will get a jackpot.
He's going to check call here, Dave. Turns a 10.
Wow, Jerry's got everything here.
He checks. Harold's going to bet here again.
Now, this is one of those times where you might need to check raise because you're out of position.
Because what are you going to do? Just call and then bet the river?
Well, if you check it, in all likelihood, your opponent will check as well behind you.
Yeah.
So you might as well raise it. Well, sometimes playing that hand hard, like you always say
Look
to do.
how quickly Harold folds there.
Well, you get called in the flop, you go, what does this guy have?
Put it this way. The reason why I would play that hand hard there, even with quads, is because what is that guy going to lay down with that type of flop? How many people actually bet into quads? If I bet the flop, he's going to call with almost anything, right?
Well, he might even call you all the way down with ace high.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Because he'll never put you on quads.
And the other thing, too, is, if he raises the flop, well, then you probably can check raise him on the turn.
Yeah, there are times to slow play, obviously, but more often than not, banging it hard, especially
Right.
in limit hold'em, is the way to go.
Especially when people don't do it all that often in these lower limit games, betting their monsters. Antonio and seat 9's going to raise here. He's got 9-10 off suit.
Actually, seat 9 raised, didn't he? Yeah, with 6-5 of diamonds.
5 players.
That's
I
suited
thought it was
connect.
seat 1 that raised. Oh, seat 9 raised.
Wow.
You're right. 5-6 of diamonds. And here we go. 5-way action here.
Also a
Ace-
hand that has more value in no limit than limit hold'em.
Well, he's hit middle pair, and he's going to bet here. But look at Williamson in seat 3.
Oh,
He's
wow.
got the top pair with the nut flush draw.
That's a monster.
Now, interesting, he mucked. Dave, he mucked ace 10 suited before to a raise, but this time he's going to call with ace 3.
Well, he did get one caller in between, so I figure maybe he thinks more players involved.
Turns a 6, and Alex has got trips. It gets checked to William. He bets, and now Alex is going to raise. Wow, what a turn card.
Yeah.
And ace 3 is going to call.
Now, if the 5 of clubs were to come off, William would not be good.
Yeah. The river's a queen.
Now, do you pay off of your Alex, though?
Well, apparently
Yeah.
he does really quickly.
I'm sorry, if you're William. Obviously, I think you have to call a turn with the flush draw,
Right.
but you might want to call and just muck if you don't hit your club or an ace.
Again, there aren't a lot of people that are going to be, able to say check raise that turn with pocket kings from up front. You just buy it, right? You almost 100% beat there on the river. But again, limit hold'em isn't really about making big laydowns, Dave.
Definitely.
I mean, you can save bets, but there are sometimes that you're just not good. It doesn't matter what the pot is laying here.
If you're playing, yeah, if you know your opponent, and you just look, there's no way my ace 3 is good here.
Right. Button moves over here to seat 5. Big blind in seat 7. Ace jack offsuit on the button here in seat 5. Seat 1's going to come in for a raise here. Ace 4 diamonds. Let's see if ace jack 3 bets.
3 bet.
And he is.
And that's Eugene Tanaka. Haven't seen him play many hands, but he's playing this one aggressive on the button.
2 players.
And we are heads up here.
I like the way he's playing it. If he's going to play it,
6
bet it.
small bets in the flop. 9-3-3. Well, what is Antonio going to do here? He checks. Eugene's going to bet.
nice flop raise jack. Often we say a paired board probably didn't hit your opponent either.
Antonio checks again here, and Eugene's going to keep driving with it.
Now, Antonio's picked up a wheel draw. He's going to need a 4 or a 5 to
And
win
he
this hand.
calls. And the river's an 8. If this one goes check, check, ace jack is good. And that's what happened, David went check, check. Ace jack is going to take it down.
Good play by Eugene there.
It's a great example of a hand like that, when someone doesn't play a draw aggressively. And you check and you went ace high down to showdown, and the guy is just on a busted draw.
Yeah.
You know.
Ace jack offsuit is one of those hands where people just, a lot of times they go, well, it's not that good, so I'll just call. And it's almost the reverse. You got to go, well, it's not that good, so I better 3-bet it.
Right.
Or
So,
fold it.
Going to take a look at our first chip count of the night here. Now, obviously, limit hold'em. This really doesn't make any difference in relative to how the game is going to be played against your opponents. But we'll keep an eye on who's going to be doing, well, and who's going to be doing badly tonight.
Exactly.
There it is.
Jesse Eugene in the top there.
3 bet.
Pocket ace jack offsuit for seat 5, 2 hands in a row. But seat 6 has got jacks. He's going to 3-bet on the button.
And Harold's going to call it with pocket 3s. Now, he's in the
Wow.
big blind, so he's already in there for 1 bet. And I guess he figured, well, 2 bets I can call with pocket 3s.
Well, he probably figured wrong, because that's probably not the right thing to do.
You can call 1 raise, I
Right.
think.
10,
Pocket
6,
threes.
7 here. So Art's got the overpair. He's going to bet. And Harold, at least he's not going to get himself in trouble, Dave. I mean, Eugene check calls here, and he's got 3 outs. Turns a queen. That's not one of them, although he has picked up a draw now. And Art's going to bet here again, and Eugene's going to fold. I'm just amazed how often people will just call with hands that are... Even some of the props here, Dave. I mean...
Yeah.
Well, they're in the big blind, and they've got any 2 cards that are suited, like Jack, Deuce suited, and there's 4 people in there. Oh, I'll call one more bet, because I already have bets in there. I mean, what are you really looking to hit?
That's actually one of the first days I ever worked here. I was in a hand with Grace, and
Yeah.
I figured since she was a prop, she was a pretty good player. And I raised in late position with like queens or something like that. The flop came out like deuce, deuce, 9.
Right.
And she actually showed me down Jack Deuce, suited. And I was just shocked. I was like, don't you work here? Aren't you a prop? I couldn't believe it.
Hey,
That was my education
What
right
I've
there.
taken away from working here is that most of the props are not good at poker that work here.
Most people that work here,
Yeah.
well, I think most props in general
Look at all
are
the clubs.
propping for a reason.
Right.
And
Alex has got an open-ended straight draw here.
he's got the good end of it, to be honest. If a 9 hits, he has a 10 high straight.
And Art bet, and Alex raised. And Antonio's going to call. I guess he's trying to spike a 4.
2 players.
Although if his 4 comes, Dave, Alex would have a higher straight.
Yeah,
And there's 2 spades out there.
Antonio's almost drawing dead.
Turns a 6.
Wow, well, Alex gets rid of the best hand here, King Jack.
Yep. Does King Jack of clubs really want to chase, Dave?
And
You know.
2-3 is still in there.
Wow, that's amazing. And the river is a jack. And I got to think that Alex is going to bet because he thinks he needs to. And he does, and he takes it down, but his hand was good anyways. I mean, what are you looking to hit with Deuce 3?
Deuce 3
My
of
God.
clubs, mind you. I mean, if the 4 of spades comes off, then what do you got?
Well, one of the other big mistakes that you can make, too, and I know people say, well, there's a lot of money in the pot. I really, just like No Limit, I really don't like to chase straight draws with 2 flushes out there and I don't have the flush. If there's the multi-way pot, Dave.
Yeah.
Because you got to think that at least one person's probably on the flush draw. Now, if it's heads up or 3 ways, that's a different story, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it's hard enough to hit your draws already.
Right.
You don't want to hit them, and then it's still not good.
Right. Seat 6 here, Art is raised with ace, king of diamonds. Harold just calls with ace, queen, and Antonio's in there with queen 4. Jack, jack 3. Well, ace, king is still good here.
A couple of clubs out there, but everybody's holding red cards.
Turns a 9. Art's going to continue to bet here, and Harold's going to fold. And Art's going to take it down. Hey, I want everyone out there who, I guess, follows the thread on 2+2, I want to point out a thread that was started by our buddy Roswell, who played on the show on Friday. His name is Matt, and he posted something. It's over in High Stakes No Limit Hold'em. It's live 5-10 bottom set, Dave.
Well, maybe somebody can bring it over to our side.
It was a hand played against you. And he brought it to my attention over the weekend by PMing me, and I posted my thoughts, and you kind of posted your thoughts there as well. So check it out, the hand. Check the hand out. And we got a raise here by Harold. Queen Jack offsuit.
3 players.
3-way action. So Harold's chosen to take control of this hand. Interesting, Art limped in with ace-6, Dave.
Well, Harold's flopped the straight,
That's right. 2 spades out there.
and Art has the top pair.
Well, Art bets out, and Harold just calls.
2 players.
Turn is a jack.
And that's going to be a little bit of an action killer, maybe.
Art's going to check. Harold's going to bet. And Art's going to call. And here we go to the river. The river's a 9.
I mean, anybody with an 8 or a queen obviously would have a straight here. You can't beat 2 pair. I mean, can you pay off with ace-6?
Well, just a queen, but he's going to pay off. Queen is a straight. And,
Oh, right, an 8 is not
yeah.
a straight. For some reason, I saw an 8. So many high cards out there, I just assumed.
And that's another reason why I actually will raise the flop. If I have that hand with Queen Jack, I don't want somebody lingering around with a queen to really call that small bet. To chop it up. If there's multi-way action, Dave, obviously. And if the guy's good and he bets into you on the turn, this is another interesting thing. If he bets into you on the turn and he gets raised, a good player can't call ace-6 there. Whereas he might check call ace-6 for some reason all the way if you just raised him on the flop, thinking, well, your hand might be a little bit...
Yeah.
But although, I got to be honest with you, if somebody raised me and I had ace-6 there, I was going to fold on the flop. Well, I mean, you might stick around for one extra bet.
It was interesting the way Art played it anyway. I mean, I actually, instead of checking calling, if he had bet the turn and then gets raised, he can throw it away also.
Right.
5 players.
5-way action here. Queen, 9, deuce, rainbow.
Queen Jack good again here.
Jack 10's open-ended in seat 4, and he's going to come out and bet.
Now, is Antonio going to get in trouble here? He's got Queen 4.
Well, I think the answer to that is yes. Queen Jack raises, Antonio calls. Jack 10 is still open-ended. Turns a 4, and look at that, Antonio spikes 2 pair. Now, at least he really should raise here, Dave. And he just calls. Oh, my.
And he's leaving Jesse in there to catch a straight now. And if a king, a jack, or an 8 come out, well...
I think he's just thinking... Dave, I think that... And it's going to get checked to Antonio, and he's going to bet. What I was going to say is, I think...
What do you think?
He thought he was going to raise on the river. Often, like amateur players, think, oh, I'll pop it on the river. But, I mean, look at the value that you lose, because you probably would have had Jack 10 call 2 bets there.
Yeah.
On the turn.
People dismiss the fact, they dismiss the fact that one of their players is on a draw, and obviously isn't going to put any money in on the river unless they've beaten you.
Right.
Now, I don't want to hammer these players too much, obviously, because this is an 8-16 limit, and a lot of these players are recreational players.
Right.
And, they're here to have a good time. They come down with a couple $100. If they win 50, okay. If they lose 50, whatever, so be it. They figure it's cheaper than dinner in a movie,
Button's going to move over here to seat 2. Again, you can email us at liveatthebike.com.
Looks like Shirley is doing well on the 3060 stars over on PokerStars.
Omaha high-low.
Good for her.
2 players.
And we are heads up.
9-7 offsuit against ace-3.
And 9-7 flops a straight. Just like that. Alex checks. Antonio's going to bet.
Alex going to lay it down?
Now he calls. Turns a queen. Well, now it's just... Actually, you know what?
Raise.
I think Alex bet the flop and Antonio just called because Alex brought it in for a raise. So now Antonio's going to raise and Alex is done with it. I believe that was the action. It's interesting. Over at the LA Poker Classic coming up in late January, Dave, the WPT event that's going to be here in January, if the Patriots aren't in the AFC Championship game, I will play the 500 Omaha tournament on Saturday.
Oh, great.
High-low. Give my buddy
Maybe
Cheryl
I'll buy a
little
piece of you.
bit of company.
I want to buy a piece of Shirley. Maybe I'll buy a piece of you, too. I had word from a bird that you and I might be able to get into the World Poker Tour Invitational. Yeah.
Word from a bird, huh?
Word from a bird.
Raise.
It's amazing how you just take such great liberties on this show. We got a raise here out of seat 1. Ace Jack off suit.
I figure if I put it out there, it'll become true.
3-way action here. Antonio brought this one in for a raise. Here we go. And Art's flopped the low flush. Let's see if he drives with it. He's going to bet.
Well, both players have bigger clubs in their hands. So.
Well, Antonio's got the ace jack. He's got top pair and the jack flush draw.
He's not going to go anywhere.
Antonio raises. Now, against this guy, Dave, I don't see any reason to get tricky. I would 3-bet here.
Not even a question.
And he is going to 3-bet.
3-bet it and then come right out and bet it again.
Yep. Turns a 10. Art's going to bet here. Antonio calls. And the river's a 4. Art's going to bet again, and Antonio's probably going to call him all the way with ace jack. There it is. Flop the flush. Played it hard. The other thing, too, is it's amazing to me, how some players play such, a small flush so slow. And people might think, oh, they're waiting for a safe card to come on the turn. BS. I don't buy it. They just think they're slow playing. In limits, is there a place to slow play, really, any hands in limit, Dave?
Once in a while, you can slow play and limit. If, say, you're up against a player who's a pretty good player, who you think you might be able to induce a bluff from,
Right.
but you won't get any money out of him at all.
But it's not like
if you just bet it.
it's not like no limit where, say, you had trips and you make a full house, and you actually want the guy to catch up. You put the guy on a draw, so you don't bet the turn, so he catches up because you can make all that money on the river. In limit, there's no real reason to do that because you want to have him pay for the draw, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're missing bets. We have a raise here out of seat 9 with Ace King of Hearts. And C4 is re-raised, Dave. He's got pocket
Three
jacks.
players.
And Harold is in there. He limped in with 5s, and he called 2 extra bets cold. So here we go.
Oh, and
Wow.
Alex has flopped a monster here, huh?
Yeah. Now let's see how Harold's going to play this. Is he going to come out and bet with the 5s? No, he checks.
Now, this is one of those big differences. Obviously, if this was no limit, Alex's hand is big enough to go all in with, really.
Well, he's going to check raise the
Three
flop.
bets.
Jesse's going to re-raise him.
And Harold's still in there, I think, with a gut shot, right?
Wow. That's amazing.
Cap.
And now Alex is capping for value here against 2 other players, Dave.
Why not? With 2 players in there,
Yeah.
If you were to punch in card player and see the
Right.
percentages, Alex is probably going to win this hand, say 40% of the time.
Turns in 9. Jacks are still in the lead. Let's see if he slows down now. Sometimes if you play that hard and you actually check the turn, the guy with the overpair actually might check behind you for some reason, fearing a check raise.
And Harold here has picked up a double gutter. He needs an 8 or a 4.
Here we go to the river. The river's a heart, and Alex has made the nut flush. And Harold's going to come out and bet.
And he's going to try to represent the hearts.
And Alex is going to raise. Now Jesse can easily fold his hand.
Easily. Well, I think is he all in? No, he's not. And it's certainly an easy fold for Harold, isn't it? The pot's awfully big, though. And
Well, this is
what-
just one of these cases where, I mean, how can your hand possibly be good here?
And I know he's getting like 15 to 1 on the call, but
Right.
still, I mean, they would have
Alex
to be like
takes it down.
there would have to be a Ferrari in the middle there for me to call.
Right. I mean, there are other instances where I think pot odds dictate a call. Say you were on a draw, like he was there, with the ace king, and these
Right.
guys were really, really jamming it on the flop and on the turn. And all of a sudden, an ace appears on the river. I think you might check call there, because some people, might be capable of betting pocket kings or pocket queens or pocket jacks there in that spot on the river. If the pot was big enough, I'm saying,
Yeah. Well, you certainly don't want to get raised out of the pot. I mean, let's say an ace comes, you bet it, and the
Right.
guy raises you, and you go, well, there's no way one ace can be good here, and you throw it away, and it is the winning hand.
Right. Look at
Another chip count here. Eugene doesn't play much. He's up about $30 since the last one. Alex up about, actually, Alex about the same. Obviously, limit holding, you're going to see less movement than no limit.
Dave, I want to bring this up, and I'll bring it up again next time George Georgian is on the... George Georgian, of course, the Greek poker god. Next time he's on the show. He came up to me, he said some nice, warm comments last week. He said, Bart, I think you're the Al Michaels of poker commentary. And then he came up to me today, and he's like, Bart, I watched the archives over the weekend. You're a real donkey. I think he actually said donkey ass.
Donkey ass.
Yeah.
Well, Al Michaels used to be called donkey ass by a lot of the Monday Night Football players. So there you go. Donkey ass it's a really warm comment in many societies.
Of course, I asked him to bring up specifics, and he couldn't, as usual. The other thing I was also thinking of, he's probably confusing you with me, as normal, as
Maybe.
everyone does on the show.
Possibly. I try to pawn off anything bad I say about anybody. I try to pawn off on you.
Right.
I think it was Bart.
Four-way action here.
I thought you played really well.
Limped around.
It's him.
King, Jack, 8. We got a King 9 over there in seat 1, Antonio. He's going to come up and bet with top pair. Now, I actually saw Alan make that. Well, he was in mid-position there with the ace-9. He had one limper in front of him, but we were playing 20 Hold'em earlier this afternoon, and he had kind of open-limped with ace-9 of hearts on a pretty tough table, Dave, and I didn't get a chance to tell him, but I really don't like that move. There isn't a lot of value in it. Now, maybe if this table's playing really loose, you might be able to limp in early position with.
She can't not get that card in there. She's trying and trying. She can't get the card. Sorry.
If the table's really loose, you might be able to, say, limp in with, say, an ace-X suited, maybe ace wheel card suited in early position. But normally, I don't really like that play. Limping in with ace-deuce suited first few spots, It just...
You set yourself up a spot where you're you're either chasing somebody or you don't know where you're at or you win a
Right.
small pot.
Ace-Jack here. Raised it up. Antonio's going to call, and he's dominated. And here we go. Ace-Jack is still good.
Art bets, Antonio calls.
Yep, check call by Antonio. And look at this. Both players have top pair here. And now,
If you're Art here, can you raise?
I think I would pop it up one time, and he is going to pop it up.
And one of the reasons we always talk about this, you can raise this and get a free showdown if you want to. Because you're in position.
River's a club.
5 of clubs doesn't really scare anything there. What would Antonio bet there?
He's going to bet the river with ace-jack. I don't mind the play.
No.
Well, the other thing, too, is that
And Antonio calls.
it's almost like when the club comes on the river, and we say this a lot, you can safely fold to a check raise there on the river against a non-tricky opponent, right?
Yeah.
So, it's just a value bet there with ace-jack. If the guy called it with a jack and didn't have 2 pair, you're going to win the hand. And he did get paid
I
off
say it
there.
time and time again, value betting is huge in limit hold'em. If you wanted to add up how many times, we used to talk this about with our good friend Lawrence Gilbert, who used to prop here and now plays online mostly. But I used to hammer him because he always checked down the river. And that's where you make most of your money. You got to think about it.
Did you just talk with our good friend Larry Gilbert?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh.
But I mean, you got to think about it. In limit hold'em, there's 4 betting rounds. The first 2 are small. The third one is big. Okay, and if you are consistently checking the river because you're scared, you're giving up one of the
Oh.
big betting rounds.
Oh,
You
of
just
course.
can't do that.
Of course. I remember him doing that a lot too, Dave.
And there's also another reason to do it. The other reason to bet the river is if you want your bluffs to work, you've got to bet that river. If you're only betting when you've got a monster or when you're bluffing, well, it's a lot easier for somebody to call you down.
5-way action here, limped around to $40 pot. King for king here, known as a king. Art's got a club draw on seat 6. Let's see if he's going to come out and bet it.
Antonio's got a monster, though. Look at that, 2 pair already.
He does bet the club draw. Antonio calls.
Heads up.
And it's heads up here.
Turns a 9. Gives him a straight draw now.
Art's got a lot of outs here, obviously. Any club, any 10, any jack, any queen.
Bet and a call here by Antonio.
Actually, even a 9 would win it for him.
And the river's a 10, and there it is. And he's going to make a value bet here again, and I don't mind it, Dave. You think you would have heard from the guy if he had a king before the river, right?
Yeah.
Unless he had flopped,
And he gets
full
paid.
house. Yeah.
Again. And if you add them up here, Art has now made 3 value bets in the river and gotten paid off every single time.
Now, I guess there's a couple of ways that you could play that, because we saw Art do it earlier. You could check, maybe think that Antonio was on a draw and let him bet the river, but you're already on a club draw, so probably the chances of that are slim. When that 10 comes out, I think he would have either raised me on the turn. He probably wouldn't have raised me on the flop with 3 kings, but definitely on the turn. So I got to think that queen 10, there's a real good chance that that's the best hand.
And if you get raised, you can probably throw it away safe.
Well, if you get raised, you got to put the guy probably on a monster, right?
Exactly.
Maybe you flop the full house or something like that. Button moves over here to seat 9. Limped around.
5 players. You do quick math there. Limped around, so you got a $40 pot.
Deuce, deuce, 6, couple clubs. Didn't really hit anyone here.
No, nobody's got anything here.
Seat 9's going to come out and bet here with overcards ace 7. And actually, he's got jack 9, excuse me. Antonio calls with ace 7.
And this is the biggest problem with betting with a guy like Antonio in the game.
You have no idea.
You have no idea where he's at.
No
He
idea.
could have anything.
And Jerry overcalls with ace 5. Turns a jack.
And Alex hit it.
Yeah, he bluffed on the flop, and he's hit top pair now, and he's going to bet. I think one of the biggest leaks in someone's game, and he pointed it out in the past few weeks since we've been doing this show, as he shows the jack there. Even in a bigger pot, say you raise, and you've got a couple of callers, calling with overcards, unless you absolutely know they're good, is a big mistake in limit
Yeah.
hold'em. Just to call with pure overcards, especially if there are other draws out there and you don't have them.
It's one of my New Year's resolutions. only call with overcards when I have some sort of other draw.
Yeah.
You know, even something as small as like, a gut shot, straight shot. Like, it's okay if let's say
Or
the
like
board is
backdoor diamond, backdoor nut diamond draw, something like that. Yeah.
Hey, if you have king, queen of clubs,
Right.
and the board is 9, 10, deuce with one club,
Yeah.
you can call that because any jack gives you a straight,
Right.
a king or queen gives you no, and if a club comes out, you pick a different draw.
Right. We had a raise here by seat 6, and we got a couple of callers, the blind and Antonio. So Antonio calls here with the ace-jack. Now, Art brought this on, and he's mixing it up, Dave. Early position with jack 10.
Well, Art's got an open-ended straight draw here. Not a bad flop for him at all.
Well,
Nobody's hit the king.
Antonio's called. Turn is an ace, and there he is. He hits the ace. Art's going to bet.
And Art still is
Antonio
open-ended
is
here.
all in here. And the river's a 9, and ace-jack's going to be good.
Yeah, Antonio all in. He's going to win this one. So actually, you had mentioned that thread, the
Take a look at that. That's by our good buddy there, Alan.
yeah, that's a
over in
quote.
C2.
That's actually what you said that last Friday. You said
Did I say that?
exact words. Man, I mean that's just that gives me nightmares. Ooh. Anyway, I was saying our good friend Matt, his name on 2+2 is Roswell, posted a thread about a hand that I had with him on Friday night after Live at the Bike in a $500 no-limit game. And if somebody wants to bring it over to our thread, it'd be an interesting discussion. I'm curious what everybody thinks about it.
Queen 10-6 here with a couple of clubs.
Yeah, nobody's really got anything here. Seat 4, Jesse's has got a gut shot.
Well, Art comes out and bets here, Dave, as a total bluff. Again, like the guy like Antonio, unless you're willing to just keep following up with those bets, there really isn't a point. He's going to bet again. I mean,
And that's the problem.
this
It's
isn't
like,
really a tough table where someone's going to lay down these hands. I think he can just beat this game by playing it straightforward.
well, the problem is, okay, I guess he's going to bet again and just hope.
Well, now Art checks. Antonio bets, but he missed it. So if Art had actually thrown the third barrel in, Antonio would have folded.
I got to be honest, if you're playing against somebody like Antonio, if you really want to bluff, you have to be prepared to fire 3 balls.
Yeah.
Because he's going to call you with anything on the first 2
Right.
tries.
Okay, so we have an email here from Mike
No,
and
next hand. Next hand, he buy the button.
Antolini.
No,
An-
he buy the
Antolini?
Antolini. He says he's from Boston.
And he appears to be Italian out of Boston. So
Pats fan. Well, I was from Reading, Mass. Maybe you can tell me where he's from. He said, I'm hoping you guys can answer a question of mine. Can you two give your take on what type of poker, limit or no limit, cash games, is tougher to beat? And I'll get to that in a second.
raise.
Seat number 3 here is going to raise. Seat 5 calls. Queen 9 in the blind. And William, the pre-flop raiser, has hit 2-pair, top and bottom. And that's an interesting question, Dave, because it's a pretty complex question.
Yeah, but it's interesting what he follows it up with. I just want to say this because I'm mostly a limit player, and I hear a lot of players tell me they don't play limit because no one ever folds and they lose. Okay. Interesting. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, what I was going to say was that if you're a really good no-limit player, I think you have more of an edge in no-limit hold'em than a good limit player does in limit hold'em. Now, that being said, I think it all depends on the game. Who's in the game? What's the better game? It all depends on the players,
Exactly.
right? But, I mean, if you're the best limit hold'em player in the world, Dave, you're not going to win more than, 60 to 65% of your sessions at the most. Whereas a no-limit, you really can go on long streaks of serious winning streaks, right? I mean, limit is just a variance game. There's big variance in limit hold'em. But, I mean, that's what you want in limit. People complaining, oh, they always call me when they should fold.
That's what the
That's how
game's
you
all
make
about.
your money.
Right.
It's a different game.
If you were to bet and everybody always folded,
Right.
you wouldn't make anything.
Right. 3-way action here. Jerry 3-bet, seat 7. Jack 4-5.
Well, 8s are still good, but it's hard for him to know that. Only 1 overcard. You always say this is one of the hardest hands to play. And you got those mid pairs and his 1 overcard.
Usually in no limit hold'em. And Ace King takes a card, and he's got a backdoor spade draw now.
And he's still not going to bet it. Wow.
And now William's going to come out and bet.
And now Jerry's put himself in a spot where do you raise here?
He's going to fold the nut flush draw with overcards.
Wow. Well, you know, the odd thing
Was he the same guy that folded the 10-4 of diamonds? And the river would have been a deuce of spades.
Yeah, the odd thing is he checked it twice. He never even took a shot at it. You know, if he actually bet the turn, you wonder. William might have called him anyway with a pair of eights, but he might not have. Who knows?
Again, you've got overcards in the nut flush draw for one extra bet, Dave. The money, there's already 3 bets in there times 3 people. So we're talking about a $72 pot, and you can't call $16 on the turn?
Now you're looking at, you're getting a little under 5-1 on your money, and you figure you've got 9 spades plus overcards.
Yeah.
You probably need more like, you probably need 4-1 to make that call.
Well,
3.5 to 1. You're definitely getting it, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus implied odds on the river, maybe.
Seat 1's going to raise here with ace-king, and he's going to take it down without a flop.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. To me, it's almost like somebody, the grass is always greener argument, you can't hack it in Los Angeles, so let's just move somewhere else. I can't hack it at this casino, so I'll definitely play a different casino. I can't hack it in Limit Hold'em, so maybe I'll start playing no Limit Hold'em. Good poker players. You're a good poker player, and you can adapt to any game. Having said that, I agree with you, though. I happen to think that your edge in No Limit Hold'em, a good player's edge over a bad player in No Limit Hold'em is bigger.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially a cash game.
C2's going to bring this one in with pocket 10s.
You think Antonio's going to call with Queen Jack?
Oh, I think it's guaranteed. And he does, in the big blind.
Heads up here with Queen Jack out of position.
He's checked blind to Allen. Allen's got the overpair. He's going to bet.
Of course.
Wow, and Antonio's not going to call.
You wonder if Antonio has a little respect for Allen.
Maybe.
He's talking to him, maybe like, sometimes you get a respect. Like, he respects him. He goes, you probably have me beat.
Yeah, Limit Hold'em is obviously a game of, bad beats. But if you look at it, you got to look at it the other way around, though, when you're on good runs, too. I've run really bad, Dave, the last 2 months in Limit Hold'em.
Right.
The worst I've ever run. But you look at it and you get rivered. Well, that's, when people are making those calls with gut shots, when they shouldn't, you're making money in the long run. It's kind of like when somebody makes a call in No Limit when the price isn't right.
Right.
And
that just comes with the territory. You have to understand that. Oftentimes people will. I'm going to actually get to this thought in 1 second after this hand.
Wow, King-Queen suited in the cutoff just limps. Open limp, Dave. That's a raise for me in any position, pretty much, if I'm opening the pot with King-Queen suited. Deuce 4 Queen here. He's hit top pair.
I might just smooth call on the blind. That's about it.
Right.
Yeah. You just lay down
Take it down.
Now, I was going to say, oftentimes you'll be playing Limit Hold'em and you'll lament you'll be pissed about your bad luck because somebody rivered you. And what you don't realize is that sometimes, even though you have the best hand, there are 3 or 4 people chasing you, say.
Right.
And each one of them have 6 outs. Well, then, as a whole, you're a favorite against each individual person. But against the entire pool of players there, you might not necessarily be a big favorite. You might only win at pot 50% of the time. So while it looks like this guy just gut shot you, the other guy might have hit his flush, or the other guy might have hit his trips. And you have to understand that, obviously, when you have more than 1 or 2 people chasing you.
Harold's going to raise here. He's got pocket deuces.
And Jerry's tormented by this call or not. He's in there for 4 chips already, right?
Yeah, he's in the big blind, right?
It's a no-brainer. You're in there for 4 chips. You're getting it.
Actually, he limped in.
So even more. So he's getting like 4.5 to 1 on his money with a pocket pair.
And he has the best hand, but that's not a good flop for 3s.
How do you know that, though?
But obviously, Harold is going to bet here with pocket deuces, and he's going to take it down there. Look at power position, power of pre-flop raising.
Huge.
I think one of the leaks in my game when I first started playing Limit Hold'em seriously was, at a table that's not extremely loose, especially at the mid-levels that I play, 20, 40, and 30, 60, sometimes 40, 80, I really can't imagine any hand right now, unless the table's incredibly loose, that I'm going to open limp with. Do you really open limp with any hand these days now?
Not generally, no. Not generally. Not
unless it's for a specific purpose,
yeah, not
right?
unless I'm playing like an ass.
Yeah.
Which happens occasionally.
Yeah.
I have to own up to that. I mean, if somebody, when I'm playing in a game, especially like a six-handed game, and somebody limps in on the button, I'm always a little curious. Like, I either think the guy doesn't know how to play,
Right.
or he's trying to trap me.
Raise here on a call. King Jack against Ace 9. Ace 9 brought it in. And Jesse made a bet here with King Jack right out of the blind, and Alan called with Ace 9. Turn is an 8.
He's picked up a little bit of a draw here. I only needs a 10 or an ace now to win this, and he's going to call again.
The river's an 8. And this one's just going to go check, check. And again, in advanced play there, Dave, you know, if you think your ace is good and you have a gut shot to the 10, if you pop that guy in the turn, can he call with King Jack? And you could maybe just check right behind him if you whiff on the river,
It's really
right?
tough.
Check the camera.
You know? A lot of the times, just like in No Limit, I'd rather be raising in limit than just calling.
Well, I mean, the only similarity between limit hold'em and no limit hold'em, which is really the same in almost any game, any poker game, is calling is rarely a winning strategy.
Yep. So what do you think about that line, Dave? 3 points in Denver.
Are they getting 3 or giving 3?
They're getting 3.
Getting 3, wow. I don't know, I'll put my prediction. My predictions have been utterly worthless over the last 6 months. But I'll give you my 2 cents later in the week. Although I got to say, right now, New England looks pretty unbeatable.
Limped around here. Antonio did not raise with pocket 9s. Ace, King, Queen here. And look at all the low cards out there. Pocket 9s is the best hand. And he's actually going to bet in position. And there it is. And how about in Indianapolis, obviously getting laying 9.5 points. When's the last time you've seen a playoff game that wasn't a Super Bowl where somebody was favored by almost 10 points?
Right, but you got to look at, I mean, what was it, 5 or 6 weeks ago that Pittsburgh went to Indianapolis
Right.
and lost by like 25.
Hey, I really do believe in, I'm not superstitious, but I believe in momentum. Who's playing well right now?
Yeah, I don't know. What's changed in 5 weeks, though? What's changed from 5 weeks
I think
ago?
that Indy might be a little bit rusty. You know, they haven't been
Okay, well,
playing their
that'll
starters
be
the whole
if
time.
Indianapolis comes out and they're rusty, obviously they can lose.
And they're flat, yeah.
Yeah, if they come out flat and they play good, hey.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, Pittsburgh's quarterback obviously is playing well right now. And they're going to chop it up.
They're going to chop this one up here. You got to think that, the MVP, though, of the league should be Tom Brady, right?
No, I thought Sean Alexander was the right pick, to be honest with you. Because I think New England, had they gone like 14-2, I would have given it to Brady. But they won a really weak division. They didn't get a bye. They got one home
But
game.
they didn't have any of their players. It was all him.
No, and obviously he's worthy of a top 5 MVP. But Sean Alexander,
Top 5?
I mean, Seattle has home field advantage throughout, and they basically rode on the back of Sean Alexander. I mean, did you see his season this year? 1,900 yards rushing, 28 touchdowns. He broke a record.
And this one looks like it's going to get chopped up. 2 chops in a row here in an 8-16 game.
And obviously in this game it does make sense to chop, where you're paying $1 instead of paying $5.
Look at the difference, though, Cincinnati, Dave. I mean, my God, they're having a great year. They're going into the playoffs, and all of a sudden they lose their playoff game, and their franchise quarterback might be, critically injured for the rest of his career when you tear like an ACL or an MCL or something
It's
like
terrible.
that.
You wonder how the game would have gone had Carson Palmer not got injured in the first play of the game.
But they're talking about him not even being back for next season or being late for training
possibly.
camp,
Unfortunately, he doesn't play receiver or running back, and he's not really a running quarterback,
Right,
so we'll
right.
see. But
When you tear fortunately, I've never torn a knee ligament, but that's a big deal. You can't walk.
ACL and MCL,
Yeah.
he's going to have a good 6-month rehab period now.
Look at this. We have a raise here by seat number 9. 6-5 suited.
That's his hand. He loves 6-5 suited.
And
But look
wow,
at this. Look
seat
how
7's got pocket aces.
look how bad 6-5 suited is in this case. There's pocket 5s out there. There's pocket 6s out there.
Yep.
And there's pocket aces out there.
Wow. So Jerry is going to 3-bet here
and
for
pocket
value.
8s.
Jerry 3-bets for value here. He's got pocket aces, and his hand looks pretty good because look at all those pocket pairs. Chances of somebody hitting a set here
Well,
are pretty
especially
slim.
since Alex has got the 6 and the 5 in his hand.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesse's got something.
6-way action times 3 bets.
Wow.
That's an over $150 pot. King, Jack, 10.
And Antonio has flopped straight.
I was going to say, if I'm aces and it's multi-way, I really don't like that flop.
Oh, it's awful flop for you. You got to think somebody's got 2 pair. Somebody's probably got a queen at least.
And Antonio raises right away here with the straight. And boy, if your ace is here, well, he's going to make the call. Oh, he 3-bets. Wow.
And you just call this with Antonio and then pop it on the turn
Yeah, I
again?
usually just call and then pop on the turn. And you really, if a blank comes and that happens, and the aces bets here, and you get raised, you should throw your aces away, I think, Dave. Unless you think, maybe you can call an X. And he just calls. Antonio just calls the turn. And the river's a 3, and that might...
You might think that
if
hand
I'm
that
Jerry,
card
Antonio just checked it or just called it down the whole way. He shut down immediately.
Wow.
Maybe he figured the guy for ace-queen.
Oh, and he 3-bet him. He said, oh, this guy must have ace-queen, I guess.
No, I absolutely pop it there on the card.
I got to say, against Antonio, you never know.
Right.
But if you have aces there and you take any kind of heat and the board is king, jack, 10, and then the board comes 3-3, you're almost like, oh, maybe that saved me. You're hoping the guy had king, jack, or
Well,
jack 10.
the only reason why you would call on the turn to a raise is to maybe think the pot is big enough and I'm getting, enough money to try to spike an ace or 2 pair.
Right.
And the problem with an ace is if the guy has got,
King, queen.
yeah, you're
Well,
gonna
king, queen is like, wouldn't you play king, queen pretty hard there? Top pair with open-ended straight draw?
I don't necessarily know, though, if these people are capable of raising king-queen there on the turn. After a guy from up front has shown a lot of strength pre-flop and probably has king-queen beat, that's really an advanced play, again, to almost get a free showdown, right?
Right. Yeah.
Seat 1 raises here, pocket 6s.
King queen is exact hand where I might raise the turn there,
Right.
and then take the free showdown if I don't improve.
Right.
And if the guy has ace king or aces, well, okay, so be it. I got one of those Where's Waldo books. I want a Where's Barry Woods book. We miss him. Where's he been? I think he took a trip down to Vegas.
Raise here.
And
By
seat
seat
4 is
4.
going to raise here with pocket 8s.
King-queen suited is going to smooth call there in seat 7.
And
One of
course,
the few
Antonio's in
hands
there.
that I actually will smooth call with in a limit game. And here we go to the flop. 3,
Wow.
4, 5, and
Nice.
Antonio's flopped a wheel.
It's second straight in a row he's flopped now.
Jesse's got an overpair. He's going to bet. Now here with king-queen, would you take one off because you've got backdoor hearts?
You can make an argument for it because remember Jesse raised pre-flop, so you
Yep.
figure, well, this guy probably doesn't have a 5 or 4 or 3,
Now Antonio check raised, Dave, the flop.
and now it's an easy laydown for Jerry.
Jesse 3 bets and Antonio 4 bets.
I subscribe to your theory. I don't really like going for overcards.
Turns a 4. Antonio checked it. I guess he's going for the check raise here.
But he's been playing. He plays it strong on the flop, and then
Unless
he plays it really passive.
unless he's scared that the guy might have a set and might lose to a full house. The river's a queen. And he's going to come out and bet. And ace deuce is going to take it down there.
And that's one of those times where you see Jerry there. He would have got there in the river with king queen, but getting there you're still no good.
Here's Barry Woods. He says, I went to Sun Valley with my daughter and her boyfriend.
And
And
his
his
family?
family over New Year's. So there you
Wow.
go.
He's already spending time with his with her boyfriends, with his daughter's boyfriend's family.
And he did, I think he emailed me a picture of his daughter. Quite
No,
the
we
cutie.
saw
Yeah.
it, but I can't believe he's spending time with her boyfriend's family.
And of course, I wasn't interested because it's Barry Woods, not Barry Woo.
Right.
Raise here and
Yeah.
a couple of calls.
Art has raised it with queen 6 hearts. Now, do you call an open raise cold at like 10-9 of hearts?
Well, apparently on this table. Well, how about a 3-bet with ace jack off suit in worst position in the small blind?
Well, if your name is Antonio, you do.
Well, here we go. 5-way action.
Williams in there with queen 3 of clubs.
$125 pot. Jack 9 deuce with a couple diamonds.
Well, Antonio's got the best hand there.
Ace jack, yeah.
And he's got the ace of diamonds to boot.
He bets. Jerry just calls, and Alex is going to call. So both players have middle pair. Well, now Antonio's got top 2. And he's going to come out and bet again here.
And I want to say, Alex is almost drawing dead here.
And he's going to raise, Dave. So is this one of these times where he's going to raise and hope to get a free showdown?
Yeah.
And if you're Antonio, can you re-raise? And he is going to re-raise. There isn't really a whole lot that I'm scared of.
I don't want to fault Alex for the play there. He's making a move. He's trying to represent the ace. Trying to represent maybe 2 pair.
He was drawing to 1 out. He needed that case 9 on the river.
Nice rush.
Thank you, sir.
When it rains, it pours.
Hey, once again, we have, you guys can see every single show we've ever had if you subscribe to the archives. Just for $14.95 a month. You get every single show we've had in well in excess of 1,500 hours now.
That's right. Just click on the on-demand archive banner in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. You can also watch the show, and if you're happy about this show, tell your friends. Each show is on a 24-hour repeat loop all the way up until 4 Pacific time of the next day. So you can go back and you can watch this tomorrow or overnight tonight. We got a raise here by seat 1.
Heads up.
And we are heads up.
It's over. One wall left.
Ace deuce 7. Jerry raised with pocket 5s.
Jerry's still good here, and he's going to
Actually-
check it.
I think Antonio was the raiser.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, Jerry had limped in with 5s, and he's going to get rid of it with that mega scare card coming on the board.
Yeah, the ace is the ultimate scare card.
Hey, now, for all you out there, you know, a lot of the players who watch this show play internet poker at the same time. Why don't you check out the LAPokerscene.com? You can click on the banner on the right-hand side of your screen. It's a new play for money site, Dave.
Wow.
And check it out.
And then you
You can also register and play 5 weekly free rolls by going to thebike.com. Download the software. We do 5 weekly free rolls. And it's free. Play for free site.
Yeah, and I'm sure I know we had the free roll against me where there's a bounty on my head
Right.
a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure we'll be doing that again. So make sure you get your promo bucks.
Yes.
4 chips, right?
4 chip. Yes.
And Dave, word is
What's the word?
that we are actually going to be changing times of the show
Really?
to 1 hour later starting next week. And this is for the purposes of getting better games down. We don't want to alienate
Why didn't
people on
anybody
the
tell
East
me
Coast.
this? I'm just finding this out now. Was this okayed by me already? This is ridiculous. Oh, check out my shirt, guys. How cool is this? I got it for Christmas. There are cards in this corner here, and then there's actually dice right on my Asian nipples.
Move away from
There.
the
See, those are my Asian nipples, but those are the dice. Right there. I can't even do it. I'm like, ugh. There, see? Really cool, actually. It's supposed to intimidate my opponents.
Dave, we got a 3-bet here. 3 bets, and we're going to see it 3 ways. And I believe that seat 3 is the 3-bet.
He was trying to isolate Allen, but it didn't work. Not at this table.
5-way action times 3 bets. And we're missing somebody's cards up there.
Well, there's a nice flop for 9s.
Yep.
Now, I want to throw something at you. In a table like this where you get 4 or 5 handed each time, and I know you're trying to isolate with the 9s, but do you ever just smooth call figuring, I can't isolate anyway?
Look at Antonio, though. He's check raised with ace 8.
Well, he's got the backdoor diamond draw.
And William just calls. So we are now heads up. Turns at 10.
Do you raise him here if you're William?
No, he's just going to call.
And Antonio is going to continue bluffing at this pot?
River's a king. He's going to get called down the whole way.
Good call.
Good call. It wasn't a hard call. This guy's got an overpair.
What?
And he shows his ace high.
I was going to say, that's not Allen in C2.
No, he's moved.
Okay. Allen actually left.
You're right. I actually thought it was Allen.
Seat 5 is a new player. Sporting
Yeah.
a full tilt hat.
Eugene Tanaka moves over to seat 2.
So again, I mean, and part of the reason why we moved times, Dave, is again we didn't want to alienate the East Coast viewers, but you can always watch the show on a rerun that runs, you know, on a continuous loop. So,
Obviously,
and
our
we think
show-
it's worth it because that first hour we've been kind of struggling with it. I mean, the games have been so much better, and they get better the later that we start. So I think it makes sense for us to start
Right,
at
and
7.
obviously the replays were showing at 10 p.m. and 1 a.m.
Right.
They will probably be now at 11 p.m.,
Right.
2 a.m., and so forth. 5 a.m., 8 a.m.
Raise here by seat 1.
Yes.
Ace Queen. And I believe
Well, Harold's in there with Ace King.
Yeah.
He's got him badly dominated.
Deuce 9-3. Harold checks. Antonio's going to bet. I think Harold just limped in with Ace King. Turns a
I mean, didn't
5.
you just pay off the entire way with Ace King here?
Well, this guy checked right behind the turn. The river here is an 8.
Well, now you're pretty sure your Ace King's probably good.
Well, he's going to come out and bet.
And he might get... No,
No.
he's not going to get paid. I was going to say, you know, if there's anybody's going to pay him off with Ace Queen here, it might be this guy. I mean, you've induced a bluff.
Might have been good. He would have called you.
As far as no pair goes, Ace Queen's not bad.
And Harold did have the best hand there with Ace King.
Maybe it was a game.
And there it is.
Once again, we are live at the bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We're playing Limit Hold'em. Blinds are, actually, the limits are 8 and 16. Blinds are obviously 4 and 8. We're playing this in it's a 4-8 games, 4-8 structure with $2 chips.
Yep.
Like that, huh?
If you like the show, spread the word. Tell your friends about it. Next home game you play, tell everybody about it. Actually, even if you don't like the show, tell your friends about it.
Call.
You have to put this way.
I'm in.
Yeah, you put this way.
Pocket 9's over there for seat 8. He's just going to complete, Dave, in the small blind with all those players in. Probably wise, unless you want to build a pot up and maybe hit your set, win a big pot.
And you can make an argument sometimes. You can raise for value there. It's nice to mix your play up once in a while, obviously.
Jack 5-5 here on the flop, and Alex is going to come out and bet here. He's got a flush draw with an overcard.
Yeah, amazingly, 9s are still good.
Yep.
Hard for Harold to know that, though, huh? But if nobody calls this, does Harold call?
Well, I guess the answer is yes.
And he can't beat anything on the board except for diamonds.
Turns a 6. Well, if he thought his hand was still good,
The 6 doesn't change anything. Now, he was under the gun, this guy, Alex. So you wonder, what kind of hands might he limp in with under the gun? Might he be in there with Jack 10, Queen Jack, Jack 9? Might even be in there with Ace 5.
and Harold's not going to play. And Alex takes it down there with a semi-bluff.
Sometimes it's really difficult to put somebody on a hand.
Yeah, I'm quiet. I haven't had much to work with here.
The gentleman says we're having fun.
Yeah.
Let's get that last hand.
Butt moves over here to seat 8.
Snap. Like I told you.
Hey, did I get word there from 2+2 on the 2+2 that Surfing Illini is preparing for his LSAT?
Yes.
Not another lawyer in our mix, please. Oh, man, don't do it. Don't do it. I swear, I think like 80% of my friends out of college took the LSAT and went to law school, and like 5% of them actually are lawyers today.
Really? They actually went through law school and paid for it and aren't lawyers now? Sometimes you get screwed because you owe so much in loans, you have to take that job to pay them off.
Yeah.
Three-way action here. Seat 5 raised with ace deuce, and he's hit his top pair, but Harold's got ace 10.
Yeah, and Antonio's got second pair here, so Harold's got a lot of cards to dodge.
And Harold just calls the flop.
Now, this is one of those cases where, yeah, Harold's ahead, but he actually has to dodge a queen, a jack, or a deuce.
Turns a 10, and now he's made aces up.
And now he's in good shape here. The only card that can hurt him, obviously, is if Antonio catches a king or a queen.
Ron shuts down here with ace deuce, but he's going to overcall. Now, Antonio needs a king here. And the river's a 5.
And the best hand wins.
Now, Harold really definitely should bet this here, and he's going to. And look at this. Can ace deuce overcall here, Dave? Antonio calls with the queen. Well, he's not going to overcall.
To give him credit there.
And ace 10 is going to take it down.
Did Antonio, he won a couple of big pots of those flop sets.
Yeah.
I had an ace.
That's the wonderful nature of this this 8-16 game. You can literally, we watch Antonio lose hand after hand after hand, and then he wins 2 hands in a row. You know, and suddenly he's got back up to $300-400 in front of him, just from 2 pots.
I don't mean that big, but it's an ace deuce.
I want to welcome back our our trusty assistant, Donna. She spent New Year's in London.
Ah, yes. You know what she said about England when she came back here?
What?
She said, boy, the people over there aren't very good looking. I agree. I lived there for a few years. Big teeth, crooked teeth, big ears. I hope you're...
I'm not offended.
You're looking at me like... It always amazed me, obviously England is a first world country, how they can be so far behind in like oral hygiene and like oral...
Interesting. I'm going to get a funny story for you, that one.
10-6-4 here on the flop.
Ron is double gutted here. He needs a 5 or a 9. Sometimes people don't see that, but that's actually a pretty good flop for 7-8. Because nobody ever sees it. You know what I mean? Let's see if Ron sees it, though. And he raised, so apparently he does see it.
Heads up.
Turns a 6, that's no help.
And you wonder, is Antonio going to call down the entire way with bottom pair?
Well, Ron's going to take a free card here on the turn. And the river is a 10.
Wow, and this is interesting. Ron has the best hand here
Yeah,
with
'cause-
10s and 6s
yeah.
and 8 kicker.
Antonio plays the board, and he's going to bet, though. And, you know, give him
Takes
credit,
down.
he's going to take it down. He played the board there.
Right. And he had to bet that hand, obviously. His cards were counterfeit, so to speak.
Please.
Actually, there's an interesting thing. I think it was Jim Carrey was on some sort of English talk show.
Yeah.
And the English, the host of the show actually asked him, "You Americans, you all have beautiful smiles. How do you do it?" And Jim Carrey looked at him and said, "It's called floss."
Right. Floss, braces, periodontist, dentist.
So it was kind of funny. My family got a big kick out of it, most of them being English. At least on my wife's side.
Limped here. Open limp with ace-9 off suit.
Yeah, Jerry plays it pretty passive.
We have four-way action here.
He's in pretty good shape. A couple of players have kings, but they're sharing him.
10-5-3 with a couple of clubs.
Ace-9 still good. Hard for him to know that, though.
Got checked around, turns an ace. Well, now he's hit top pair. Looks like he's going to come out and bet.
Good night. I'll see what you have.
Well, tomorrow they do a loop, don't they? They loop it for 24 hours.
Loop. That's right, Jaron. We loop it 24 hours.
I think our last loop ends at, what, about 4 o'clock?
Pacific time.
And,
Yeah.
and tomorrow I think it goes on the air.
I'm still waiting for somebody on 2+2 to actually comment on the hand I had with Roswell, Matt, on Friday night. You can find that hand on the, I think, No Limit High Stakes.
Cards maybe you want to call, but you're not sure. Like 10 deuce offsuit
If somebody would bring that over to this thread, I'd appreciate it.
over, and I don't know how many times I've had 10 deuce offsuit. Every time I'm in the big blind, I get
One thing I'll
raised.
say, I want to know if Barry Woods would, what would Barry Woods do?
There's 3 bets.
Think he'd lay it
I
down?
like big butts.
Maybe I can give someone a bad beat.
We had a raise here by seat 8, and seat 9's going to 3-bet with pocket jack. Seat 8's got an ace, 10 of spades.
Wow, but
Look at
seat
seat 4, he's
4
got aces, and he's going to cap it.
Yeah, a couple of red aces there.
So jack's aces, ace 10 suited. And Antonio finds himself in there with 8-9 offsuit, Dave, for 4 bets pre-flop.
Well, last time he flopped a straight when he was in there with against aces.
So here we go. We got an over $150 pot. We've got 16 small bets.
And I tell you, if flop comes out 10 Jack Queen, it's going to be a monster.
Flop comes out 6-9-7. Well, Antonio's open-ended with top pair.
That's a big, big flop for 8-9, I got to tell you.
3 bets.
Alex 3-bets here with jacks. Or excuse me, he raises. And Antonio's going to 3-bet. And aces is pretty much all in here, Dave, I believe. Or he's going to probably put himself all in.
Yeah, he's got about, I want to say, 14 chips left.
But he's still in the lead here.
And Harold's even in there now with ace 10. He needs a gut shot with only
28
spades.
small bets in the pot.
Why is Harold in there?
Turn is an 8.
Well, I guess that's why.
And now Antonio's got 2 pair.
Yeah, but Harold's got a straight.
That's right. And he checked the straight, I believe, from up front. Why would you slow play a hand like this?
Yeah, who's
It's not
going to
like
bet
the
it?
board's scary. But Antonio's going to bet it with 2 pair. Aces is going to call. And Antonio's the only one that's drawing live here, right?
Well, no, Alex is drawing live if a 10 comes
That's
out.
right. And Harold just calls with the ace-10. He does not check raise. What's going on here?
Well, I guess he's scared of 10 Jack, but why are you in there in the first place with ace 10 of spades?
And the river's a queen, and ace-10 is good. Is he going to check the river? He checked it.
I check.
Oh, my, Dave. Boy, a couple of really lost bets in there by Harold.
Well,
Serious lost
I mean, let's
bets.
look at the flop here. The flop is 9-7-6 with 2 hearts and 1 club.
Right.
You have ace-10 of spades. How are you calling 3 bets in the flop then?
Oh, well, that's... Well, but I mean, and then you spike your gut shot on the turn.
But I mean, you got to spike your gut shot and then hope that the heart on the river doesn't kill you.
Right. Unbelievable.
Really?
I mean, he should have check-raised the turn. I wouldn't have check-raised the turn. He should have bet the turn.
You can't expect
You
somebody
can't
to...
expect somebody to bet if they don't have a 10 there, right?
Well, that kind of board, no.
Yeah, I think
Kidding me?
I had a pair, I had open ends, and I missed that hand.
Crazy.
Now, Antonio's hand was a little different, obviously. He had top pair with a gut
Look at
shot.
my chances. I have 2 pairs, open ends.
Plus, he had 1 heart in his hand.
And what a flop there for Harold again. I mean, it was 16 small bets pre-flop, 3 bets 4 ways on the flop, 28 small bets. Then you had, double-sized bets times 3 on the turn. So that's 34 small bets. It got checked down the river, so 34 small bets. That's over a $250 pot, right? About a $252 pot.
And he luckily for him, he hit his 3 out on
But
the
he
turn.
really he could have made an additional 3 to 6 big bets in the hand.
Oh, for sure. Not even a question.
But he should have folded on the flop.
Yes. But it's one of those things that you actually, if you're going to, buck conventional thinking
Right.
and go for your gut shot and then get there, you better get a lot of implied odds there. Or by playing it passive afterwards, what's the point?
Incredible.
Yeah, but with their raises, the top pair of 9s is they have to have something. a little
Exactly. That's
better.
what I want you
But he
guys.
had
That's what I
open-ended.
want you
Like
guys
he
to
could
think.
have jacks,
Button has
and
moved
he
over
could
to seat
have aces
3.
when you have 9s. So you know that the 9s you never get a hold.
And Harold there still
open-ended.
stacking his chips. Well over 100 chips.
Good hand. Everyone played about as
That
Got a new dealer in the box named Brian.
just fell right in.
One of the better dealers here.
He had aces.
The river can't nobody bet.
Who had
The way it was
I had
supposed to
aces.
like spec.
Again, and a straight.
Yeah, I know.
And small blind is seat 4. That's Jesse. Ron is in the big blind. And the under the gun is Art. He's going to fold it. Jerry's
It's a
out of
hand that
there.
doesn't take you anywhere. The only hand that never, ever.
And Harold's going to limp in 3rd position with ace king offsuit.
Cards on down.
Wow.
If you call.
I mean, ace king offsuit is not really the hand I want to see
For the people
multi-way
watching,
here.
for people watching and
But
learning.
Eugene is actually going to raise it in late position with ace 9. You wonder now, it's heads up. Harold's got Eugene dominated, but Eugene has position.
Yes, it is.
Flop is queen, queen 4. Harold's going to check. Eugene's going to bet it. That actually hadn't happened yet, but I predicted that. It's pretty obvious. And that's straightforward limit play. Check and then a bet. Of course, Eugene's going to clearly bet that. And Harold calls. The turn's a 4, and that's going to chop it up here. They both have 2 pair, queens and 4s, with an ace kicker. And Harold's just going to continue to call. And they both need their kicker to hit if they want to win this pot. And the river's a 7 of hearts, and this is going to get chopped up. And it does. Harold checks it, and Eugene checks behind him. And they chop the pot up. Now, an interesting play sometimes is if the board gets queen, queen, 4, 4, and I put my opponent on an ace, sometimes I'll check raise the turn, trying to represent something. Against a really cagey, against a really good player who knows me well, knows I wouldn't play a queen that way. But against somebody who doesn't know me as well, might think, oh, you got the queen, okay, I'll throw it away. And I end up winning an entire pot there.
Button's going to move over here to seat 4. Big blind is Art.
Nice raise.
I wonder if Art has the same problem I do many times with my name. People thinking that I'm called Mark. And then, of course, in kindergarten I was
People think they're calling you what?
Mark.
Mark.
All the time, yeah.
Okay.
Because,
Bart,
the
Mark?
Sound, yeah, the sound is similar.
Okay. I would think you'd have more problems with Bart and Art than Bart and Mark, but okay.
Got a raise here by seat 4.
6 players.
You can
C3.
imagine the problems I had with my last name.
Queen, Jack, clubs. Tuckman.
Hey, you can imagine the problems I had growing up.
10, 3, 4. William was the pre-flop raiser.
Go ahead.
And nobody hit it, Dave, and everyone's going to check. Turns a jack. Well, there's queen jack, but Alex has got him out kicked in seat 9. And he's going to come out and bet. See if William might raise here. And maybe, again, one of those times where you might see a showdown.
Raise it.
Yep,
Eugene
there you
actually
go.
called this. Eugene has picked up a wheel. He already had the wheel draw, and he picked up the nut spade draw.
Yep.
And he's called, and I don't think he's going to go anywhere now,
Nope.
especially when 2 people call.
And do you think that if a blank comes here, William will bet the river? I mean, that guy came out and bet the turn, but and the river's 7.
And Alex's hand is still good. I'd imagine he's going to get checked down,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Well, it does get checked down. King Jack is going to take it down.
And it's not a terrible play by William. He raised a turn to get a free showdown.
Right.
And some people can say, well, why didn't he bet the river? Maybe he can get the King Jack off. Let's be honest. There's no way King Jack's going anywhere.
No.
Spread on that game.
You just got to hope that your Jack is higher than his Jack.
And seat 9 over there is doing pretty well. I think he's up several $100s.
Yeah, Alex is. I mean, it's funny. Some people say, oh, I want to make real money. You can win some real money in 8-16 limit hold'em.
Yeah.
Two ways.
I mean, if I could somehow multi-table this game live, play 3 of these tables at the same time, but not on the internet, that would be fabulous.
A raise by seat 9. We can't see what he has because all his chips are in front of his window. We can see that seat 6 has got pocket queens, and he's going to 3-bet.
Rebets.
You ever see that movie Multiplicity?
Yes.
That's what I need.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I need that. I need tuck 1, tuck 2, tuck 3.
I understand.
So 3 bets here, and we've got 3-way action. Again, we can't see seat 9's cards. 9, 6, 4, rainbow. Art's going to go out and bet with pocket queens. Seat 9 looks like he's got ace king, and he just calls. And Antonio's in there. He's got a straight draw. Turns a jack. Queens are still good.
And it doesn't change anything here.
And Alex took 1 off on the flop, but he folds now. Antonio calls again.
He needs a 7.
Yep.
Not a,
And the river's a 7. There it is.
Raise it.
Art's going to bet, and Antonio raises. And this is one of those times, again, Dave, can you safely throw your hand away against a non-tricky opponent?
Well,
with
Antonio,
queens here?
how many times has he raised the river? One time he raised the river with a flush, and here's with a straight.
Well, Art calls.
Once in a while, it's a call out of frustration just because you want to see what your opponent had.
Well, here's a perfect example of somebody saying, he chased me all the way with a gut shot. Well, he really shouldn't call you on the turn with a gut shot, but that's how you're going to make money if you miss the 7, right? That extra bet.
You want that guy to call you. It just sucks when he actually hits his hand hard. It stinks. But you've got to, the best way you can look at it is go, okay, this guy here, the fact that he just hit his gut shot will ensure that he will play bad poker probably for the next year or so.
Right.
Because he will forever now go for that gut shot because he hit it today. And he'll remember that.
Raise.
I want to thank SP Surfin, Michael, for putting on the link to that.
Again, if you want to follow a live thread that started on the internet, we had an email in here from a gentleman, Bernie. He said, where's the 2+2 thread? Go to 2plus2.com, spelled out. Click on Forums, World Poker Tour, and other televised tournaments.
If you can't figure out where to go, you can actually go to our own Live at the Bike site.
And it will point you to that
Yeah, you
direction.
can just click on the link. It'll take you right there.
9 deuce 4 here with a couple diamonds. Alex is going to bet here with pocket 8s. And he has the best hand. Look at Antonio. He's going to call with jack 8. He's got no diamond draw. And Harold's going to call with overcards.
He's got a backdoor straight draw.
Turns of 5. 8s are still good.
Okay.
Knowing Harold, he's probably going to fold. I don't know about Antonio. And Harold does, Antonio does fold. And there you go. Harold folds, and pocket 8s is going to take it down. There it is.
Get an email here from Barry Woods, and I guess he's back in the house here. He says, I will take a look at the hand to give a professional donkey's opinion. It's good that he's feeling good about himself.
You know, I actually I posted a couple responses to that hand, Dave. And I started off where I was saying, boy, it's kind of a close call. And the more and more I think about the hand, the more and more it's not a close call at all, what you should do.
Right, and obviously anybody who doesn't have access to 2+2
Right.
is wondering what we're talking about. There's a hand I played on Friday night with another player, and I'll discuss the details of the hand in just 1 second.
And especially against you, Dave, there's no doubt what I would have done now. The more and more I think about it.
Okay. Let her do that. C1 is up to you. All right. Raise it.
We've got a raise here by seat 1. He's going to open with ace-jack offsuit. Now, the Bud's got 10-9 of clubs. I don't really like to call here to a raise of suited connectors and limit hold'em.
Yeah, no limit hold'em. They have a lot more value.
8 to call.
And ace-king suited here, seat 9 in the big blind. He's going to 3-bet.
Okay, 3-bet now.
That's kind of a value bet, isn't it?
Cap it.
And ace-jack offsuit's going to cap it, and 9-10 really should lead, especially when you have no money left behind you, Dave.
Right.
I mean, that's a drawing hand. You have no money. That's amazing. Well, here we go. 3-way action.
And he's in
Cap.
terrible shape. I mean, you look at it, you go, wow, 9-10 of clubs. Now, if it was 9-10 of diamonds, obviously it'd be in better shape. He doesn't know, obviously, that Alex has clubs also.
3 players.
12 small bets in the pot. Here we go to the flop. Antonio capped it. And he's flopped top 2. See how Alex is going to play. He's going to come out and bet.
Now, since
Raise.
there's so much in the pot, if you're Jerry, can you even get away from this? Not really, can you?
Well, up to a bet and a raise, he does
Okay.
fold.
Okay, he has no money left, though.
Turns a king.
Oh, wow, and Alex is only 2-pair now.
And he's going to come out and bet here again. Antonio raised the flop.
Time.
And Antonio's in really bad shape. He needs a queen to chop it up or a jack to take it down.
And he's going to call.
I got it, bro. I appreciate that.
He needs jack or a queen. And the river's a queen. Chop it up. It's a third spade, too.
Okay. How about you?
Split it.
Okay.
And I got to say, what a bad laydown by Jerry there. He would have chopped it up, too.
I think he had some yellow chips back there, Dave, so that's why.
And Jerry would have made a full straight because he had the 10-9. He would have had the
Right.
9 all the way to the ace.
So much more valuable.
You don't get any extra points for that?
You know, it's interesting. I've said it before. Ace, jack, and king, queen offsuit. Under the gun in an early position. Online, when it's a 10-handed game, that's a fold for me. But in these games, when it's usually you're playing 8-handed because it's a 9-handed table, and normally, Dave, at least one person's out of the game, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
I think that those hands probably do, you know, call for a raise in early position. I think. I mean, some people will muck ace, jack, and king, queen in early position.
Yeah. I have to agree with you. It's funny how these games seems like the lower limits.
The games are
full.
usually more full, yeah.
I mean, you actually see some of these guys, they don't want to miss one hand.
Right.
They'll run to the bathroom as fast as they can and then run back.
But when you get up to where we are in the plaza, boy, it's just like a walk fest sometimes, isn't it? I mean, how many times has the game stopped because there are 4 or 5 people away from the table?
But once in a while, you'll look and you go, oh, let me go. You, as a prop, you want to sit down and help the game.
Right.
Then you realize that every seat is actually filled up. The players are just up and away.
Right. Well, Antonio has raised it out of the big blind, I think, with ace-3 of hearts. Wow. I'll tell you how I don't like to even limp in early position. He's going to raise out of the blind with it. There we go. He does. He's the only one with an ace. Ace 9-5.
Go ahead.
And he's going to bet with top pair. He's got the best hand. Dave, no one has a diamond here.
Not one diamond out there, huh?
I don't think anybody can call this bet.
No, no way. I mean, if Ron calls, he's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lays down. Second pair, no diamonds.
That was pretty easy. He's going to take it down.
Now, people are wondering, what the heck is this guy talking about? What hand on Friday night? Anyway, just so you know, Matthew, he had limped in. I limped in late position. He limped in early position. And the small blind raised. We both called. The flop came out 9-6-4 rainbow. The raiser bet out $150. Matthew raised it to $350, and then I re-raised to $850.
Right.
The original raiser folded, and then Matthew was put to the test. What do I do?
Raise it.
And Matthew claimed that he folded bottom set. Flop was 9-6-4. He claims that he laid down a set of 4s.
Three players.
Three-way action here. Harold's got pocket aces. 9, 6, 8.
Sure. Go ahead.
And look at this. Art's going to come out and bet here, Dave, hoping that maybe Harold raised with high cards.
It's worth a shot. Sometimes you do that in limit hold'em.
Harold's going to raise. And Antonio's going to try to spike a 7 here. He's going to call.
That's the problem with stealing in a game like this where you've got somebody calling like Antonio. You
And
have
Art's
no idea
gonna-
where he's at.
Art's going to fold. Turns a 10.
Go ahead, guy.
I mean, do you still call for the 7 if you have queen 5? Well, now Antonio is he's got a double gutter. A 7 gives him a straight, and a jack gives him a straight.
That's right. And the river's a queen. He's hit top pair. And this one just goes check, check here,
Pair of
Dave.
aces.
One pair of aces is going to take it down.
And King Jack would have made the straight if he'd stayed in there.
Aces held up.
Nice hand.
He jumped once.
It's straight up there. I can't beat him. He has
Yeah.
it straight.
No doubt.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, tell me about it. Straight or a flush?
Button's going to move over there to seat 9.
Tell me something that I see. What did you have for breakfast today?
I didn't have breakfast. No, I had the box. I had the box.
All right, good. Oh, you have not?
Korean box.
Unbelievable. Straights and flushes.
Button's actually over there in seat 1. Those beautiful green chips on the table are $2 chips. We're playing 8-16 limit hold'em.
Raise it.
4-8 chip structure. Seat 9's going to bring this one in early position. He's got big slick offsuit. Antonio kind of going with the, and actually seat 9 in late position there, raises it up with the ace king. We had a limp in seat 6 with queen 10. Antonio makes the call with jack 7 of hearts.
Hey, I need 2 cards.
Four players.
Four-way action.
Well,
Jack
that-
7-3.
that
Wow,
has
look
two
at that.
pair.
Top 2 pair.
I understand.
Wow.
Ace king bets.
You're in bad position. Raise it.
Antonio's going to pop it up here.
To be one-on-one, aren't you?
And you fold this if you're Alex here?
Well, he's going to call.
I mean, I was going to say, I mean, Antonio hasn't really bluffed all day, has he?
Turns a 4. Well, I think you fold now.
Check fold?
Yeah.
Now, we see that in limit hold'em all the time where if you bet somebody raises, you almost always take one more off. But you look at a flop like that, Jack 7-3 with 2 spades, a player that doesn't really bluff, just raised you, and you have ace-king and they're both red. Can you safely just muck it right there?
Well, you know, normally I think you can take one off if you have 2 pure overcards. The problem is that if your ace comes, you don't know necessarily where you're at.
Exactly. You don't know if your ace is good. You also don't know if the king of spades or the ace of spades comes out. You don't know if you're good there either.
It's kind of like what you say. Pot odds dictate, yes, it's a call, but, you know, mistake begets mistake. If you hit something that makes you stay in there, you could lose more, right?
You might get those reverse implies
Right.
there. You might
Right.
hit an ace,
Right.
and your opponent had ace-jack.
Right.
And now you bet into him, he raises you, and you end up calling him the
Yeah.
whole way.
Seat 5 here is going to raise with pocket 4s.
Come on, you're going to call anyway.
Yeah, I want to see what my
Ace rag against in pocket deuces.
Three
in here.
players.
Three-way action.
one-on-one, a better chance.
Ron's raised with 4s. Queen, jack 10. You think Antonio's going to call one time? Backdoor diamonds, gut shot straight draw? Yeah, he is.
2 of you.
And again, you just don't know, have no idea where Antonio's at right now, Dave. Well, the turn's a king, and now Antonio's got a straight and a royal flush draw.
But Ron has a 4 of diamonds.
Ron checks, Antonio bets, and Ron's going to call, and he is drawing. He could catch a 4. No, actually, no, he's drawing dead, right? Drawing dead
Yes.
chop. And the river's a queen, and there's the royal flush. Antonio makes a 1-card royal flush,
At a time, I didn't even know.
and he checked it down at the end. He made a royal flush, and he checked it at the end.
Ace of hearts, I swear to God, man.
Checking the royal flush, a value check at the end, Dave.
Yeah, well, he was inducing a bluff there, and it didn't work. He actually said that he thought he had the ace of hearts. in his
Oh, I
hands.
see. Inducing a bluff in position when it gets checked to you on the river.
No, you have to have
Yeah,
more.
hey, you know what? You gotta. I'm not sure. Okay. Hey, there you go.
I swear I thought
The funny thing is, I think he probably would have gotten called by Ron, don't you?
With the 4 of diamonds? But yeah, you
called
know,
him
he
the
called
turn.
him the turn, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you got to think he misread his hand, obviously.
The people in front of them, when you signed, they would say, what the heck, this guy didn't bet that?
C9 raise.
Seat 9's going to raise here with ace 10 off suit.
And Antonio's going to call with ace rag offsuit.
50 in green, please. Yes. 4 players.
Four-way action.
Okay, 90% luck, 10% skills.
Ace 10 is the raiser here. King deuce king. No one hit it. See if this bet's going to take it down here on the flop.
And once Antonio folds, you got to like your chances of taking it down here.
Well, 9-10 of diamonds got a flush draw, so Harold's going to make the
Okay.
call.
Fair enough.
Turns another king. And you know Harold can't chase here now when the board's, you know, got trips on it. And Alex is going to take it down there with the ace high, which was the best hand.
Is the Denver New England game, is that Saturday or Sunday game?
Seed open,
It's
8-16,
it's Saturday.
Jim.
There was a number of reasons why I wanted Pittsburgh to beat Indy. Obviously, I wanted Pittsburgh to go beat up Indy. You know, have the possibility of the Patriots playing Indy in the AFC Championship game. Also, for my Saturday night plans, I can now watch the game at 5 Pacific time, start drinking beer, as opposed to if it was in Indy, it would be a 10 a.m. game, Dave.
Yeah,
Here.
that's tough.
And, you know, just for a 26-year-old guy, I slept right through the Carolina Giants game this weekend.
Well, don't, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
You watched it? You were up?
I watched a little bit of it. The Giants actually slept through their whole game, too.
I believe it. 5 players.
I had another turn.
Seat 6 is going to bet here. It was limped around. Harold calls.
Raise it.
King 7-8 on the flop. Art bet with ace 8. Harold called with 6-8. And Antonio's going to raise. He's got top and bottom pair.
2 of you.
And Art's going to call. He needs to spike an ace here. Antonio's way out in front. Turns to 7. Now Antonio fills up. Now this is a perfect case here, Dave, where if it got checked to you, well, Art's actually going to come out and bet. And Antonio is just going to call. I guess this is a little bit different. Like you said, he's in position.
Yeah.
River's a queen.
We maybe do it, right?
And Art has bet now, and now Antonio's going to raise.
Raise it.
What I was going to say
Another
is,
clear fold here, isn't it?
yeah, what I was going to say is if Art checked the turn and you filled up, I've seen people check behind with a full house. Why on earth would you do that? What would be the point of that?
Right. You're just trying to play tricky.
Yeah, I mean, you're just missing a bet.
I mean, once in a while, I'll throw this at you. Once in a while, if I'm playing against a good player,
Lines, please.
and I almost get the feeling like I know if I bet, they're going to check. They're going to fold.
Yep.
They missed it completely and they're ready to fold their hand. Once in a while, I'll check, thinking maybe I can induce a bluff on the river. Rarely do I use that play.
Hands, they haven't held up very well.
Interesting question here from Arvin on 2+2. He says here there is a no-limit game by local casino. And actually, I'll answer it in a second. Sorry.
10-5-3 rainbow here.
Alex with the wheel draw.
He's going to bet. And Antonio calls with queen 6. Okay.
Alex is ahead, but it's hard for him to know that.
Turns a 10.
Perfect raise spot for Antonio, but he's not going to use it. Here it is. Dave and Bart, there's a no-limit game in my local casino. $50 minimum, $100 max, restricted buy-in game. The blinds are only 1-2. But the rake is $6 every half hour, so we're talking about $12 an hour to play that game. Is no limit worth learning, or is this game or is the money per half hour too much?
Well, you got to look at.
And that's about the same rake as our casino.
I was going to say, you look at what the rake is. You have to figure in what about a game at a rake. Now this here, we take $3 per pot, Dave. So
right, and let's say you win
you win four pots an hour. Right.
About $12.
I mean, I always thought the 100 game was tough to beat because of the rake anyways. But it's a good beginner's game. Remember, when you're starting to learn, you're not really necessarily trying to beat the rake, right?
Yeah.
So.
If you're trying to learn to play the game, yeah. But don't expect, I mean, if you really want to make money playing that game, you obviously have to beat that game,
Right.
probably 80% of the time to really make any money.
I think that Seat 5 brought this one in with pocket kings. Seat 1 3-bet with ace-10 offsuit in the big blind. And Seat 1 his flop top 2 pair, but he check called here. Turns a queen. I guess he's going for the check raise here, Dave. Ron's going to bet again, Seat 5, and Antonio's going to check raise with the ace-10.
And once again, obviously, this is a pretty easy fold for kings here, unless he thinks he has the odds to go for the gut shot.
Well, he does call. The river's a 3. Well, if that's true, he's not going to call the river then, right? If that's what he's thinking. But frustration, gets mistake, and he calls the river.
Yeah.
And every single time that Antonio has raised or shown any strength, he's had a minimum of 2 pair, hasn't he? He has not done this one time as a bluff. The only bluff his only bluffs that he's made is that when he's missed a draw and it's been checked to him on the river, he's bet it maybe once or twice.
I mean, let's be honest. The board is ace-10 queen, and you get check raised on the turn, and you have kings. What can you beat?
Jacks. That's it, right? That's
Right,
it.
and somebody's check raising you with jacks there?
Right.
But that, I mean, to me, though, obviously, those smaller games, if you're playing 3-6 limit or 4-8 limit hold'em, and this is in any casino in the world, or you're playing the $100 buy-in restricted game,
Raise.
the stakes aren't high enough to beat the rake, really. But obviously, you're not going to jump in and play, an unrestricted, no-limit hold'em game with 10, 20 blinds right away, so you got to learn the game somewhere.
Right. Three bets here by seat 9, Alex, with queen 10 offsuit.
3 bets?
Yep.
Wow. Well, he's playing position, and he's flop top pair.
But look at this. Antonio comes and bets with 6-7 right out into the 3-better on the button.
And he's
And Alex just calls. I think Alex is waiting to the turn to raise here. Turn to
thinks
5.
So? Well, now Antonio's picked up a draw. He's open-ended.
Yep. And Alex is just going to call again. Wow. And the river's a 6.
And is Antonio shut down now because he's got a pair?
Oh, he's going to bet. And Alex quickly calls. 2 pairs.
Yeah. And Antonio has shown a propensity to bluff, but it's usually him just betting out when he's bluffing. He's not raising.
Hands up.
I just always think it's funny when someone turns over a hand like right here and they say 2 pair. Obviously, it is 2 pair, but it's almost an attempt to deceive, I think. Just like when you did 2 pair.
But it's not an attempt to deceive. You're stating the fact. It's not an attempt to deceive at all.
Dave had ace-10 in his hand, and the board was paired, double paired. And he put a bet out on the river, and the guy called, and he said 2 pair. He flipped it over.
Quickly flipped my hand over.
And the guy took a second, and then finally flipped over his ace rag for a chop. And actually,
Well, it was funny, and you guys all gave me crap about that, like I was trying to deceive the guy, and it's not the truth at all.
5 players.
The truth of the matter was I was turning it over going, I have 2 pair.
5-way action here. Ace-jack 3 here with a couple of spades.
I mean, do you turn your hand over there and go, ace high?
No, I just turned my hand over. I didn't say you were trying to deceive. I just thought it was funny.
And this is another time. Antonio is raised here again.
Top pair.
Now, raising on the flop doesn't mean quite as much, but if he does it on the turn, you know he's got it.
Turns an 8.
It doesn't change anything. Yeah.
2 of you.
Check call here
Alex needs a 10.
by Alex. That's not going to do it. Let's see if Antonio throws a bet in here on the river. Actually, Alex is going to bet. Alex bets the river here. Just comes out and bets.
And Antonio's going to call.
I guess if he figures he was going to check call, why not bet and maybe get a better hand off of it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if Antonio had like a jack there or something like that, maybe he would fold. Slight possibility. But what about the times when you get, say, counterfeit on the river when you had a low pocket pair and the board double pairs at the end? And I'm not saying you, but somebody flips over and says 2 pair.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, you agree with that one, though?
I actually did do one time, and the funny thing is, it wasn't meant to deceive. It was kind of like, oh, you caught me. I mean, I was actually betting pocket deuces the entire way.
Yeah.
I got, my deuces were worthless when the board was like king, 9-9-6. And I bet on the river, I got called, and I kind of nodded my head, and I turned over, I go, 2 pair. And the guy folded.
Worth the shot. 2 players.
Heads up here. We got a raise here by seat 5 with king, queen. He's hit top pair.
Yep.
And the blind comes out and bets.
Jesse bets and then puts his hands up like what?
Ace 3, and Ron just calls.
2 of you.
Is he slow playing? Is he going to pop it on the turn? Turns a 9.
I think it's an easy spot to raise here, right here. Get an extra bet out of your opponent and then raise it up.
And that's what it looks like here. It looks like he's got a stack of chips in his right hand.
Raise.
Yeah.
Time.
And again, this is a really powerful move because if you have a tendency to do this, especially heads up, Dave, You could be doing this with a flush draw, too, right?
Yeah. A lot of things.
And
you can do
it
this
makes it really difficult. Remember when Barry Greenstein was in here, he said usually the lower limit players will raise the flop and then check the turn, and it really doesn't disguise your hand. But if you call the flop and then raise the turn with your draw, it makes it a lot more difficult for, say, a single pair to call, right?
Yeah, if everybody's interested in what else Barry Greenstein talked about, we had probably, 6-7 hours of Barry Greenstein commentary. You can just subscribe to the archives. Go to liveatthebike.com, top left corner, click on it, and literally you can get, to me, you get your money's worth in just 1 hour of Barry Greenstein's talk.
Bring out that button a little bit. Thank you. Raise it. Seat 1.
Buttons in seat 3. Antonio there, or excuse me, Antonio brought it in here with Queen 9 of clubs, I believe.
3 players.
And he's going to get called in a couple spots. Here we go. Ace 9-6. Well, Antonio's got the best hand here with second pair.
Yeah, he's outflopped him.
He's going to bet.
Representing, and Antonio's been on somewhat of a fire. Look
Yeah,
at
he's
this.
on fire.
I mean, what does he have?
Next time we put a chip count on, I don't know, maybe we have...
Antonio and Alex
started
have
here.
been huge.
Well, we have Antonio starting with $100 at the beginning of the show. Is that right?
By the time the show actually started, he built it up to probably...
He had 140 at 6.15.
And he went down to almost felt.
Right. And
He
look at him now.
He was actually all in.
That's right. Yeah.
And now look at him. Man, and those are probably what do you say, 40 stacks or 30 stacks?
Well, if they're 30 stacks, it means they're $60 each. So he's got it almost
$500.
That'd almost be $500. In an 8-16 game, he went from felt to almost $500.
And Alex also has only bought him for $300, and you can see the pyramid in front of Alex
Right.
in seat 9.
We had a
Well over $300.
raise here by Ace King, and Eugene 3-bet. Antonio's in there with Queen 8 offsuit. So Eugene has decided to take control of the hand with the second best hand, and both players hit their aces. See how
And
Alex,
Antonio has second pair, so I imagine both these players are going to be in there.
well, Alex bets. Antonio, excuse me, Eugene bets. Alex check raises, and Antonio calls 2 bets. And this might be a time when Ace 8 might be waiting to raise on the turn here, but his hand is not good.
Ace Queen, you mean?
Ace Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seat 2.
Right.
Let's see what he does here. He got check, and there it is, Dave. He's going to raise. And if you're Ace King, you can't really pop it back. And this
You might get a free showdown.
Yeah,
if
it
you're
might
Ace
be
Queen.
one of these times again where he might just check right behind here at the end.
Well, I don't know. Ace Queen might be big enough to take a value better than in the river.
Yeah. River's at 4. Well, now it might just get checked down everywhere. Wow, look at this. Antonio's going to bet.
Now, you wonder here, obviously, if Eugene, the perfect play right now, Eugene would raise this, get Alex out of the hand.
How about if Eugene calls, can Alex overcall? He got popped on the turn, Dave. And look at that. Eugene's going to take it down.
Yeah.
And Alex can't be pleased here when he sees what happened there. Antonio saved Eugene in seat 2, and you can hear seat 9.
Yeah, and you don't want to make a living in limit hold'em making big laydowns, but
that's tough. I mean, can you overcall there? The guy popped you on the turn.
well, the only thing you wonder is though, what did the river change? Well, you really think if you think somebody's in there with a 5, I guess. But.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, too. You know, if you think you have the best hand against seat 2, and you're just trying to catch a bluff by seat 1,
Well, there it is. Look at Alex, up to $700. He's up over $400, even though he gave that pot away pretty much.
Yep.
Antonio up over $460 for the day. Harold is up a couple $100. Jerry is he's down about $300 today so far. And Jesse also is down. Jesse's down big. Jesse's down over $400, seat 4.
4 players.
That's a lot in the 8-16 game, man. Wow.
Yeah. Well, this game, I mean, the money throws around, those chips fly.
Queen 5-7 here with a couple of diamonds.
Once again, though, last hand, I mean, the power of raising on the turn. You just brought it up.
Antonio bets here.
Raise.
Oh, excuse me, Alex bet with King 9, another bluff bet. And Antonio raised here with Ace 7. Seat 5 called with King Queen. So here we go to the turn. And Harold's in there with a flush draw. Now Harold has a flush draw and a pair. And again, Alex took that shot in seat 9 and folded to a raise.
Yeah.
And I think actually Ron 3-bet the flop move. And here we go to the river. And the river's a 9.
And he dodges.
Right.
A lot of cards. And that's one of those times where you got to look and go, well, King Queen is ahead, but there are a lot of cards that can hurt him. Any 4, any 10, any 7, any ace, any diamonds.
Right.
I mean, that's almost half the deck there.
And he checks it down at the river.
Third heart, kind of a scary part. Once again, we are live at the bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. You're watching Limit Hold'em. Blinds are blinds. I keep saying blinds. Limit is 8 and 16. The blinds are actually 4 and 8. And we play this game with $2 chips, our green chips.
We stream live cash games every Monday through Friday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time. And this will be the last week of this schedule because next week we're changing from 7 to 10.
Yes.
There you go.
And the game should be just a tad bit better, I'd say.
Yes.
Starting next week.
5-way action here.
Just when you thought our show couldn't be improved, we improve it.
Deuce, deuce, 7. Limped around.
Alex has got a deuce.
And Antonio, Alex has a deuce there, 5 deuce of clubs. And he's just going to call the bet here. I believe that seat 7 came out and bet with ace 3. Wow. Turns a 7, but no one has a 7.
I mean, that's got to be a scary card, though.
Antonio's in there with queen 6.
Wow.
And you know what? Alex is going to check raise. He's going to check raise here. And Art is going to call with the ace. Wow. And he is drawing dead. The river's an 8. There it is. Wow.
Amazing. I mean, Alex was betting it also. He raised it. Like, there's no chance this guy could possibly have a 7. I mean, he raised a turn, right? And the guy smooth called him. And then he bet straight out. I mean, and got paid.
Well, here's an interesting happen. If you get raised on the river, no matter how big the pot is, could your hand ever be good with deuce 5 there? Unless, I guess, the guy is such a tricky player that he could stone cold bluff 1 out of 20 times.
Yeah, in this game it wouldn't be. In some of the bigger games it can be.
Right.
Well, I mean, think about it. If you've got a 7 there, and the guy check raises me on the turn,
there's no reason to
I might
bet.
just smooth call
right,
it
and
then raise him on the river.
Right.
And in no limit, I don't even raise him. I just call.
Right.
Hope he doesn't have quad deuces.
Hey, look at that. It's Francois.
That's why here's 40, okay? Check your card. Let's get to the 10.
Francois taking over for, I want to say, Jerry there in seat 7.
G undertone Francois in seat 7.
Raise it.
Francois is a pretty good no limit player. I don't really know much of his limit play. It'll be interesting to see how he does.
Spread him out.
Button has moved over to Harold in seat 8.
2 players.
Heads up here. Ace Queen raised out of the small blind. Antonio's in there. 5 Jack 5.
That's it.
So I guess Alex doesn't chop because he raised it out of the small blind.
Well, I mean, would you chop if you were sitting next to Antonio?
Of course not. And again, like you mentioned earlier, in this game it actually makes sense to chop.
Yeah.
Because,
Come back and you'll celebrate.
you're really... You are really, that the rake and the jackpot chop is really taking a huge hunk of the percentage of the pot heads up, right?
Yes.
Now, in no limit, obviously, implied odds are astronomical, so it doesn't matter. But in limit, you only can make, whatever the street is capped at in terms of betting amount.
And obviously, sometimes at the higher limits, they never chop.
Right.
I mean, I'll say when I was at the World Series and we were playing 80-160 limit hold'em.
Well, that's a collection game too, right?
First of all, it was a collection game.
Right.
Second of all, they never chopped.
Right.
Actually, the only time we did chop when it was a collection pot.
Right.
If it was a collection pot, it was kind of like,
Yeah.
let's not see a flop.
Always.
3 ways here. Deuce 3 4.
Harold's still in the lead, but how does he know that?
Well, Antonio raised it out of the small blind. And he's going to come out and bet. He's going to take it down there with 9 high.
Get an interesting email here. I can't. Kiwan Eom. I can't pronounce his name. It says, "Hey guys, love the show." He subscribed, but he can't find the Barry Greenstein archives. Help me out.
The average is a
Key.
78.
And I think most of our.
Try.
I think one of them was August 31st, Dave, but I'm pretty sure they're clearly labeled, aren't they?
most of our shows are labeled.
Yeah.
Most of our shows were labeled, but I think it's August 31st, and it's amazing. You're like the Rain Man. How do you know that?
Right off the top of my head.
I mean, it's amazing. Boom, like that, August 31st.
It's coming back to you anyway. After time.
Well, give that shot, August 31st. And the other show that Barry Greenstein would have done, if it's not labeled, would be right around August time, because that's when our Legends of tournament was going on, and that's when Barry was here in town.
Button here in seat 9.
King Deuce Diamond.
Can I just name off any show we've done and you know the date? I mean, that's impressive.
Three-way action here. It looks like it's limped around.
Please don't.
Jack 6-7.
Check.
And it looks like it's going to get checked around here. We can't see seat 6's cards.
Check.
Turns a 4.
Eugene has the best hand here, and he's open-ended, huh?
Checked around again, and the river's a king. And seat
Eugene's
6
gonna-
had 6-9, and he never bet.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, and he's going to win.
Very fine.
And that's Danny in seat 6, new player. He's going to take it down with a pair of 6s.
Boy, if I'm in the post spot there, and the flop comes 7-6 Jack, and it's between me and the blinds, and it gets checked to me, and I have middle pair, how am I going to bet there, Dave, right?
Of course. Of course. I mean, you can be overly aggressive and too aggressive in some poker games, but you've got to be somewhat aggressive to win.
Right.
Just play blind.
Put your cards there, don't look at them. And just cut.
Sorry about it.
Buttons moved over here to seat 1. Open limp, 10-8 offsuit.
Actually, I cannot.
It's okay, you can let them.
I know.
No, I guess he limped, and then he wanted to take his money back,
They
but
have internet. I
we're
don't
going to
have
see it
internet.
here between the button and the blinds. Jack 4-4. Williams got Jack 10. Check, check. Williams got a full house now. And he checked it again. And the river's a 10. And look at this. If anyone had a Jack here, he's got the good full house. And now he finally bets.
No check all the way? Okay, I'll give you $8.
And Antonio's going to call because he hits the 10 at the end there, Dave.
But give him credit. He did say, "I'll give you $16."
He said give you $8, but it's actually $16.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're talking about
I mean,
cigars.
those are the types of hands that you really dream about in no limit, and you hope the other guy has
Oh.
a Jack, right?
Oh, you pray it's Jack.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons why a lot of players, a good player there with a Jack on the river, if it's bet into you,
You just
only
call.
have like Ace Jack.
Right.
You just call
Right.
and hope the guy doesn't have Jack 10.
Because you shouldn't be able to get called by any hand that can't beat you, right?
Yeah,
or
you'll-
chop with you.
Exactly. You'll get
Yeah.
called by hand that chops with you,
Right.
and a good player won't even call you down with a 4.
Right.
So,
Again,
Once
seat
again,
6 is limped in. We can't see his cards over there.
I mean, I always hammer the point that there is value to raising the river of hands. There is value not showing your cards.
Right.
But
Four-way action here. Queen 6-7 limped around. And Danny's playing pretty loose here. Limped in with 10-3 and diamonds. Gets checked over to Antonio. He's going to bet out of seat 1 with ace high. Looks like he's got the best hand. And there it is. Takes it down.
so okay, 2+2. They're talking about smoking cigars. Do you ever smoke a good cigar?
I have.
You like a good cigar?
Yeah, Cuban cigars, Monte Cristo.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well,
Monte
it's funny.
Cristo number 3.
When my wife and I went to Jamaica, we actually we brought cigars back, and
Was that the only thing you were smoking down there?
of course. But anyway, so we bring these cigars back, and it was funny. My wife was so paranoid that we were going to get caught smuggling cigars in.
Wait, they were Cuban
that we,
cigars?
we took the labels off and everything, and we were like, we felt like we were smuggling in. You know.
All they're going to do is confiscate them.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah,
that's the only thing I was upset about. I was
Right,
like,
right.
no, I don't want to.
I don't want.
Because they were pretty expensive.
Yeah, like what, $20-30 a piece or something like that?
No, actually, in Jamaica, you can get them for probably about more like $10 a piece.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, $10 a piece. I probably
Right.
brought back 20 of them.
Right. You brought back 20 of them? You are a smuggler. mean, you were stuffing them like in your sneakers and like.
No, I put them in a
your
plastic
bathroom
bag and put them on my ass. What are you doing? It wasn't that hard to smuggle them in. I mean, obviously, I don't think they're really looking for Cuban cigars.
Hopefully, we don't have any customs people watching the show. Limped around here.
I mean, it would be just like our country, though. Arrest me for smuggling Cuban
Right.
cigars, but let the guy in with like who's got like a suitcase full of cocaine.
Right, right. Ace Kings raised here from the button.
Pocket. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought for a second Alex had pocket kings, but obviously not.
Jesse's got Ace King. He's on the button. And there's the ace. Ace 7-7. No one has a 7.
Yeah, nice flop for Jesse there.
He bets.
He
And
hasn't
it's
had a good
interesting,
night.
Dave. If I have Ace King here and say I'm against 3 or 4 people, somebody calls me, say a deuce of diamonds comes on the turn, he checks, I bet, and he check raises me. Can I safely throw my hand away?
Yeah, depending on the player you're playing against, usually, yes.
Is that not weak, tight poker? And I'm just throwing that out at you.
No, I mean, depending on the player, more often than not, you will be beat.
Right.
Now, against a good player, you might have to pay him off because, if a good player knows that you will throw down Ace King there,
Right.
he might make that move on you once in a while. But then again, I mean, good players throw away winning hands all the time. It happens. If you're a good player,
Limp here. Open limp on the button. King 4 of diamonds. More heads up, or your 3-way action here.
It's going to happen that once in a while, you're just going to throw away the winning hand. You got to accept it.
So Francois playing a little limit hold'em. Checked around here on the flop. Turns a 3.
I guess he's probably on a no-limit hold'em board.
Harold's going to come out and bet
Waiting for
here.
a seat.
A lot of times you might see that happen from up front. Everyone showed weakness on the flop. Someone bets from up front on the turn. And he takes it down there with Jack high. And there it is.
That's that. Kobe's averaging 39 points a game.
So who do you like in that game, Dave? Denver against New
I told you I'd reserve my judgment till later in the week.
Well, you're not going to give your predictions now?
No. It's a lot easier.
The funny thing about that game was that Teddy Bruschi didn't play. Obviously, he wasn't healthy.
Yeah, I mean,
Against
that's
Jacksonville.
the amazing thing is that, Teddy didn't play. Corey Dillon did not have a very good game, yet they still destroyed him.
I think that Corey Dillon is just not. He's nowhere near 100%. He hasn't been the entire season.
And they still challenged him. It wasn't even close.
And Willie McGinnis, boy, for an old guy, pretty good.
Still gets it done.
Yeah.
I was celebrating over the weekend because Herman Edwards is no longer the Jets coach.
Right, Kansas City. $12 million 3-year contract.
Oh, good riddance.
Or
They can
4-year
deal with our
contract.
problem.
5-way action. So who do you want to see the Jets to hire?
I'm not sure.
Jack 5-7, couple spades. Antonio's going to come out and bet with ace high again. And no one has a pair here. But look at Danny. He's going to call with ace 10. And Alex has got a gut shot here to the 9. He calls. A couple spades out there.
3 players.
Turns an ace. Well, there it is. Antonio hits the ace as well as Danny.
But and Antonio's going to bet it. And is Danny going to raise it or is he just going to call?
Looks like he just calls.
He just calls. And Alex throws his hand away. And Antonio needs help, and there it is. He needed a 3 and he hit a 3.
That's unbelievable. And he checked it, Dave.
Yeah, had a 7 or a 5 come off, they would have chopped it up. They both would have had 2 pair of the jack kicker. I think the 3rd spade scared Antonio there, so he's checked it down.
Yep.
Gets runner, 2 pair there. Yeah, I got to say, if for the Jets head coach, there are probably a number of well-qualified head coaching candidates. I'm a big fan of Mike Singletary, actually. Right now he's a positions coach. I think he might even be defensive coordinator.
Did he play for the Bears?
Yeah, he was their middle linebacker during their heralded years during '85.
I think he played for the Patriots too.
Mike Singletary?
Yeah.
Did he? I wouldn't.
Maybe not.
He was the face of the Bears during the mid '80s.
Yeah.
Him and Walter Payton. And
that stupid song they did, and then it beat the Patriots that year.
And he's
86.
really, I mean, he's an unheralded but up and coming coach. I'd love to see the Jets get somebody like that.
was
Somebody
that?
young with real enthusiasm.
What was that song they did? The quarterback shuffle or the refrigerator
Super Bowl
Super
shuffle,
Bowl
actually.
shuffle?
But that wasn't really Mike Singletary. That was more of like the
That
fridge.
That fat head, the fridge there, lumbering forward for like a half a yard.
You're not
from the
still
backfield.
smarting from like that Super Bowl, are you?
From 20 years back.
You were like what, 5 years old?
I remember it.
Them losing like what, 46-7 or something like that?
46-10. I remember the AFC Championship game in Miami, squish the fish game. 46-10. That was a rough one. Patriots actually went ahead that game. Kicked a field goal off of a
I would have loved. You know what? I can almost imagine a little Bart running around the room.
Limp here by seat 6 with Ace King.
Did you like Asian women back then?
Four-way action here. Queen, 5 deuce with a couple clubs. Again, it misses everyone. Well, Eugene's got top pair.
Yeah, Eugene's got top pair. Not much of a kicker, but
He's in the blind. He got a free ride. He's going to come out and bet. And again, Danny's going to call here with overcards.
well, this is one of those. Danny, he decided to slow play Ace King. It misses him completely. There's 2 clubs out
Look
there.
at this, but he hits an ace on the turn.
Well, I mean, he had to get lucky there, obviously, but he doesn't even.
And now Antonio's going to come out and bet with the ace with Jack 5. And Eugene's going to raise. And now
Wow.
where's your Ace King at? I mean, it's so easy that somebody might have 2 pair here, right? With the ace. Ace deuce, Ace 5.
There's too many professionals on that right.
He's going to call.
Yeah, and Eugene's got to hate his hand now.
But Antonio calls.
Oh,
Now again,
this is
here's
one of those-
another case for Ace King. He's got to dodge a lot of cards here on the
huge
river.
amount of cards, and he doesn't get there.
No,
I mean,
Eugene's
actually,
made it.
Eugene gets there.
He's made 2 pair with Queen 7. He's going to come out and bet.
And this is one of those times where Eugene will turn his hand over after he's called, and you'll look at it and go, "Oh, what a bad beat! The guy had to catch 2 pair." But Antonio also had that same draw.
Okay.
It's really difficult to put the guy in Ace King, and he just limped in over there in seat 6. You know what I mean? There it is. And give him credit. He actually bet the river when the club scare card came. He got an extra bet out of it. Right?
Yeah, surprised he actually did that. When the guy calls the raise like that, you almost put him on. God, this guy had a club draw.
You know, the 85 Bears, I remember, they were 15-1. They were getting, there had been talks about them going undefeated, and they lost fairly deep into the season that year as well, just like the Colts did.
Yeah, they lost on a Monday night game actually to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. In Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where is it?
I had never lost with these cards. That's the only reason I want to play. Remember that? Oops.
And we got a little post here from CW Siggy on 2+2. If you want to follow that thread, you can just go to Live at the Bike and click on it. And he says, isn't 12-1 pretty much an automatic call? You know, you only have to be right 8% of the time. And I have to agree. I go, yeah, when you're getting 12-1 on your money, it is an automatic call, unless you just know you have to be beat.
I guess I need a tow truck to get me out of this.
And once in a while, you do just know.
We have a raise here by Jesse.
Re-raise.
Excuse me, Jesse led out. Alex raised, again, with nothing, Dave. I mean, Alex is, but he's called the 3 bets. Jesse made it 3 bets, and Alex called with King 3 of hearts.
It's got backdoor heart draw.
Antonio's got overs with the straight draw. And Alex is still calling. He picked up a pair here on the turn.
Well,
Jesse bets again.
He needs a 3 or a king to win this pot.
And Antonio needs one of the 8s, a jack, or a 10, right?
The
Actually,
10
a 10 would be no good because it would give Jesse a straight.
Oh, yeah.
The river's a king, and look at this. Alex, who raced with nothing on the flop, makes runner 2 pair on the turn.
And look at him, he's all giddy
He's
about
giggling over there. That's unbelievable.
Looks like a little schoolgirl. Look at him.
Is that a nervous laugh or is that a...
I mean, when you raise on the flop as a move,
And this is what he's laughing at
Yeah.
because he got there. He's laughing at his good luck.
That's unbelievable.
King Queen.
And Antonio easily lays down there, obviously, jack high.
Even worse.
And he actually shows the king 3 before Jesse even gets the call. I don't even think Jesse called there at the
Yeah, he
end.
felt bad.
I mean, when he raises the flop, Dave, and he gets 3 bet, isn't it just time to throw the hand away with king 3? What are you really looking for? I mean, there's that rare circumstance where, yeah, it's 1 extra bet, but you have nothing. There's nothing, right? Backdoor hearts? 1 overcard?
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
We could have won. He had it up against straight draw.
I think the point there of that 12-1 was the fact that Alex had folded the ace-king.
Oh, I see
On
what
the
you mean,
river.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess that is a good point. In that case,
Yeah.
you know, you got to look at it and go, well, can my ace king be good only 8% of the time to make this profitable?
Yeah.
So you don't.
Apologize to this man.
In limit hold'em, you don't really make a living making you know, big laydowns.
Right.
You know it was coming. Dinner at Gardens again.
Yeah, we have a post here by Shirley.
My treat.
Limped around. 6 deuce 8 with a couple spades.
Nice post here from Shirley here. Hi guys, thanks for keeping an eye out on me in the 30-60 game. The game is great.
Oh no.
Says make sure you let me know when you are having a Tuesday game on Live at the Bike. I might have to join it if we can round up some fish.
You got me off 7 deuce offsuit there.
Maybe Shirley would be the fish.
You have me beat, good flat.
That'd be great to see.
Well,
you down
usually
there.
that Tuesday night game's a little rough. You know?
No, we put Shirley in there. Obviously, the biggest fish, me, I won't be there.
Right.
So,
Oh,
Big blinds here in seat 5.
but if Barry's in the game, you know the game will be good.
Always. Barry Wu
I need someone stronger. Yeah, you gonna buy?
limped in here. Ace rag in seat 6.
Everybody's got ace rag, it looks like.
5 players.
5-way action. $40 pot. Jack 7-6 with a couple of diamonds. Looks like 8-9 over there in seat 3's open-ended. And he's going to bet the open-ended on the button. He got checked to him. Why not? Danny looks like he's going to call with ace-6 here.
3 players.
And Antonio calls with ace-4, Dave. Backdoor diamonds. Wow. Turns a 7.
It never amazes me anymore what people.
I was
never
going to say, let's
ceases to amaze me.
see
I'm
if
sorry.
William takes the free card. He doesn't.
I was ready to fold him at 3.
He bets again. I think that would have been a perfect time to take a free card with all these guys calling with absolutely nothing, right, Steve?
He had me anyway.
I mean, do you know? I mean, is he willing to follow up with a bluff if he misses on the river? He has to, right?
2 players.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Danny's got a pair of 6s.
And the river's a 5. Well, he makes it, so it doesn't matter. And he's got a straight to the 9.
And is Danny going to pay him off?
Well, he called the flopping on the turn. I don't know, unless he specifically puts the guy on 8-9, in which case, wouldn't you play the hand harder? Would the river change anything? He makes the call.
And if you want to take a next step as a poker player, you got to start putting your opponents on hands.
Right.
And if you think, oh, you know what, maybe my ace-6 is good, you got to start thinking, okay, what is my opponent betting with? You know, is he betting with diamonds? Did he miss?
That's just about the only thing that you can beat there, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, would he value bet? That guy hasn't been playing real garbage hands, so I can't really put him on king 6 or any other hand that I can beat at that point.
Yeah, you might not even bet a jack on the river. Who knows?
Well, that's why I think value betting, even sometimes marginal hands, is great because a lot of people might think, well, if this guy had a marginal hand, he would just check. He could be bluffing, so I'm going to call.
And it's more evident in no limit than in limit hold'em, obviously. Limit hold'em, a lot of times people will bet marginal hands. No limit hold'em, though, I see it all the time where people don't just bet one pair on the river.
Right.
They kind of just hope they can check it down. A lot of times in no limit hold'em, from what I've seen, I'm actually going to write an article about this, but from what I've seen in no limit hold'em, oftentimes a bet on the river signifies either a monster or a complete bluff.
3-way action here. And seat 6 raised, and we got a couple of callers. And seat 6 is hit top pair there, Danny, with the king 10. And he's short. He's going to come out and bet. And, you know, Antonio, he's been calling with ace 7 here the whole night, and he's going to call again in this spot.
Well, he's got an overcard.
And Williams got middle pair. He calls.
Antonio also has backdoor spade draw.
Turns a 3. And Danny's pretty much all in here for one chip less than a full bet.
When you're wearing a hat that says the A.
Yeah.
We're all after.
I could be wearing like my warrior
I guess
jersey.
if you're
There's
William,
a
you
recipe
guess you
for
call.
success.
He's going to call. You're not going to face any more bets here, Dave.
Originally, yeah.
River's a jack. King 10 is good.
He's there.
Danny's going to all in, wins again. Remember the whole SNL Saturday Night Live skit, the Dub Bears.
What's that? Oh,
Yeah,
That whole thing?
yeah, of course.
Wasn't that influenced by the Super Bowl winning team, the '85 Bears?
I'm not sure, but I thought one of the funniest things about that skit, when Ditka moved to New Orleans, George Wendt was stuck in like a paradoxical limbo. He went to Tennessee right midway between Chicago and New Orleans and had like half of a Bears uniform on and half of a New Orleans uniform on. And he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Rise
Yeah.
Everybody raised my blood.
Those are the best years of SNL, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Not only I don't call
I mean, you had some great skits on back then. You had Stuart Smalley,
Yeah.
you know, the Bears.
Two-player.
And actually, you know, I think Jim McMahon hosted an episode of SNL that year, too.
Oh, I'm sure he did. Yeah.
Pocket deuces here for William. He's hit a set of deuces.
All right, I'll check.
He's going to bet. He's not going to get any action here.
And that's sometimes that's what happens. You know,
Yeah.
you actually hit a set, but there's no implied odds there.
Well, he
Because
was
your
actually
opponent's missed.
playing it. He raised pre-flop
Right,
too,
right.
so.
Would you always show
Had he
them-
not hit a deuce, he probably would have bet anyway.
Oh, is that the
No, not the forehand. Not the forehand.
Button
turn
moves
and the
over
ring.
there.
the turn? That's what I mean.
Moves to
Yeah,
C6.
So people can check it in the.
Flop.
Yeah, they talk about it.
Oh, and then they.
I think that's some great. I mean, I got to tell you. I mean, I think about Chicago when you know Fox goes out in the parking lot before a Bears game. They show what those guys are tailgating. They're like beer bratwursts and you know gigantic
that's-
beef ribs,
That's some
brontosaurus
good
ribs.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I tell you, I have no desire to have an existing team move to LA, but I'd love an expansion team to come. I would get season tickets.
Right.
I would tailgate. I would.
Well, football's more about the event. You know, it's the whole experience. It's not like you know you just go there right when the game starts. Because I think actually in football you can actually watch it better on television. It's more about the event. Whereas baseball and stuff, it's better to be live.
You say you're gambling?
Hey, I'm extending once again the Super Bowl party. Okay, everybody's invited. February 5th.
Antonio raised here with ace-queen suited. Again, if the Patriots make it to the AFC Championship game on January 22nd, depending on when that game ends, I might be able to play that Omaha tournament.
Yeah, obviously all those tournaments start at 3:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern time.
Ace,
Pacific time, sorry.
Ace 8-7 here with a couple spades. Antonio's got top pair. He's going to come out and bet it.
He's gonna take this down, I think. Yeah.
Well, Harold's got a pair. Is he going to get...
Lose or win?
He's going to make the call.
He kisses his money goodbye.
Backdoor clubs. Trying to spike two pair of trips here, I guess. Turns a 3. And that should do it.
Bet and fold.
Actually, you know what? I don't... Oh, wow, he's going to call. I was going to say, in this particular situation, Dave,
It's Antonio betting.
I think Harold could call there with Jack 7 heads up on that board. The river is a 6. The reason being because I think if a 7 comes, if a Jack comes, I'm good. I might pick up a club draw on the turn. Antonio does not
Okay,
bet
but what
the
about the
river
call
there.
on the turn, though?
Oh, the call on the turn is horrendous.
Okay.
No, I'm saying on the flop. You know,
Right,
sometimes
right.
in a raised pot, if you have one pair, if you think your two pair or your trips are good, and you might have a backdoor draw, you have odds to call a small bet. Now, again, like you say, mistake begets mistake. You can lose a lot of money when you pick up that backdoor draw on the turn and then not make it, right?
Yeah, oftentimes I might call. I'd be more apt to call in position. But yeah,
I know, come here. No, don't.
especially against a guy like Antonio, he might be betting anything. Could be on a pure bluff. Who knows?
Raise it.
So what is that? Saturday the 23rd? You said?
Re-raise.
Sunday the 22nd,
Sunday the 22nd. Okay.
AFC Championship game. Raise and a re-raise. Seat 1 raised, Queen 8 of spades. Seat 4 re-raised, Ace 9 of spades. And seat 6 is going to cap it with Ace 10
Offsuit.
offsuit.
Man was a better player.
Wow.
And somebody had Ace Jack and they folded.
And Alex is going to call with pocket threes.
3 bets. Wow.
And you know Antonio's going to call with Queen 8 spades.
Well, he's the one that started it. Somebody capped it. I think it was Antonio.
Now this is $32 times
Times
4
4.
players.
It's a $128 pot minus the rake, so we'll call it about a $125 pot. Here we go. 4, 5, 6.
And Alex is still in the lead here with pocket threes, and he's open-ended.
Yeah, I check.
Check it round.
And everybody checks. Well, let's see if he comes and bets the turn here. Turn's an 8, and Antonio now has the best hand.
Yep. And that's a terrible card for Alex there. because now if a 7 comes, he does not even have the straight. I mean, he has it, but so does everybody else. And actually, if a 7 came, his straight would be no good because Jesse would have the 9 high straight.
How is Jesse's calling with ace-9 here? He's got a gut shot to the 7, I guess.
I guess he thinks the pot's big enough.
River's an ace, though. Look at that. He spikes the overpair. And he's going to bet the river here.
I mean, because of the pot.
And I was going to say, can you bet the river and get called by a hand that's not going to beat you? I guess the answer is yes, because Antonio calls him with queen 8. I mean, obviously, you know, somebody might check. Obviously, you don't think those guys have 7s there, Dave.
Right.
But don't you think that maybe 2 pair would have checked it to you there at the end?
Yeah, I know. I happen to agree with you. Sometimes, though, the pot is so big. In this case, the pot was well over $150. Sometimes you get called even by pocket 6s or pocket 10s.
And the nickel and dime.
And the hand that won that hand was actually ace-9.
Yeah. William, actually, I mean, Jesse there, I don't think he's won a hand all night long. And he wins one pot, and suddenly he's doing okay.
Raise it.
I'm glad space.
Raise here by seat 5. 8-10 offsuit.
Wow.
I have to win one hand.
I know.
Once
Seat 6 is
again,
going to call.
we'd like to keep the show really interactive. If you have any questions or comments, please email us at liveatthebike.com.
4-way action here. Seat 5 was the razor. Ace, Jack, Jack. Well, Danny's hit top pair.
Check.
Check it. 4 chips. 4 chips.
Must like his hand too much.
Bet and a couple of calls. I don't.
2 players.
And Ron actually check folded. Danny bet, and Antonio called. I guess he doesn't have a draw. Queen 9. There's no draw out there with Ace, Jack, Jack, right?
Not that I see.
No. And now he's going to get rid of it. Interesting comment here by Barry Woods on the 2+2 thread. And he was speaking with regards to Alex's hand in seat 9 with the king 3. Runner, 2 pair, exactly why I don't play limit. And then Cold Cash quotes him and says that's exactly why I do. And that's kind of the point that we were trying to get at.
Right.
You know?
The players are in there trying to catch a runner, 2 pair.
Right. And you obviously only remember the bad beats, Dave, and not because you don't see the guy's cards normally and think of, well, what this guy called me down.
People also have a short memory of the bad beats they give people, too. We all get our fair share of bad beats, and we all give our fair share of bad beats. And obviously, if you're a good player, you're more often going to be in the lead.
Right.
Than, and obviously get more bad beats.
Queen 10, queen here, gets checked around. And Antonio bets there, and he folds. Interesting email here from Dave Jones. He says, I believe that 2 pair angle that we were talking about before is called victory ripping. Have you heard that before?
I've never heard it, but interesting. And he says no one should do it. A prop certainly should not run any angles at all. And I agree, obviously. You should not be angle shooting at all. And obviously, if you're doing something to intentionally deceive somebody out of the pot,
right?
I think that's wrong.
Ace King suited here, in the big blind.
3 players are playing.
A lot of Broadway out here this hand. Now Francois played it pretty tight, Dave. And this time he's going to limp here in mid position with 7-4 spades. 6-way action. About a $45 pot. All clubs. Now Eugene has the highest club draw here.
He's also open-ended. I mean, the open-ended obviously doesn't have quite the same value, but with the queen of clubs also, it's a nice backup.
Ron came out and bet here, open-ended, but he has no club in his hand.
Yeah, he's open-ended without a club, so obviously much less value
Now,
there.
Danny calls open-ended without the club. Eugene calls open-ended with the club. I like Queen-Jack right now with the queen of clubs. And we're 3 ways. Turns an ace. Who has the best hand here? The 2 Queen-Jack highs, right?
Yeah, exactly. Queen high, both times.
Ron's going to come up and bet again.
Now, the ace-king folded, ace-king of spades folded, and you can't blame him, can you, on the board?
He chose not to raise it out of the big blind either.
And that's okay if you're not going to raise ace king of spades out of the
Look at
big
this.
blind.
Eugene now folds.
Easy laydown.
And the river's a 5, and Ron's going to have to fire one more time here. And actually, Eugene called. I'm sorry. It looked like Eugene had folded, but he called. And Ron's going to bet one more time. And how can these guys call?
I don't think either
They
player
missed.
can call. They both
They
got
got queen
queen
high.
high. But Danny's thinking about it.
I thought he's thinking about raising.
I mean, that's really all you can do here. You can't just call. You have to raise, don't you, if you're going to make a play at all on it. And Ron just keeps firing and finally takes it down.
It was funny. One of those. Have you seen those little segments on ESPN called "The Best Hand I Ever Played"? They're little cutaways
Yeah, I've seen that,
during the World Series, and then they made a half-an-hour show out of it. And Doyle Brunson was talking about one hand where he put the guy on the exact bluff, semi-bluff hand that he had, which was betting into an open-ended straight draw.
Right.
Did you remember this hand?
I don't.
And he called with Jack 10 high on the board. There was a third player in the hand, and because he called, that guy
Couldn't overcall?
couldn't overcall with a weak top pair, and he ended up winning with Jack high by calling there in between. Pretty incredible stuff.
Raise it.
I wanted to say, got a nice email from Schneely. Thank you for the kind words. Glad you're enjoying the show.
Four-way action here. I think we got jacks and 9s in the hand here. Ace 3 deuce with a couple clubs.
Well, ace 7 is now the best hand, huh?
So C5's got king jack. Yep, Danny's playing ace rag, and he hit it.
Yeah, 9s go up in flames in that flop.
Two players.
Heads up. And look at Antonio call with jack 10 there, Dave. Turns a 5.
Check, check.
Check, check. And Antonio is drawing dead to a chop. River's a queen.
Yeah, and limit hold'em is not where you can. I mean, in a no-limit game, you could really use that queen of clubs to get this guy off an 8-7.
Well, he's going to bet here.
Yeah, but I mean, Danny's gonna call this.
Right.
Just limit hold'em. It's just one more bet. No limit. You put a nice pot-sized bet on the river there.
Look at this. Danny's check raising here, Dave, with ace 7 on the river. What?
Does he have the king?
That's odd.
Check raising?
And Antonio shows jack of clubs in his hand, but he's on a pure bluff.
Yeah, the flush.
Wow.
His money would have been there.
You're check raising, and you're gonna show the eights? I don't understand the point of the check raise there. I mean, is there any value in the check raise there?
Another email here from John Exner. He says the Barry Greenstein shows were August 24th, and he came in at about the 45-minute mark, and August 31st, which is what I said before. So there you go.
Just offhand, do you know which day the Kathy Liebert show was?
August 16th.
What? You've got to be wrong. Somebody check that for me, please. If you're right,
Raise it.
that's freaky. That's scary freaky.
Pocket
I mean,
aces here.
Got like
He's
some
gonna
sort of
raise
like
C2.
photographic memory. No wonder you're a good poker
Three
player.
players.
Three-way action. Actually, I don't know if that's right, but it's my best guess. And Eugene's flop top set here. And Ron he's double gutted here, right, Dave? No, he's just got a gut shot to the queen.
Two players.
And he check calls. Turns a 6. Eugene's going to bet again. He did not slow
Now,
play
see,
here.
I don't mind calling a gut shot. If, let's say, there's two clubs out there and I've got the king of clubs in my hands,
Right.
well, then I've got some other option there. If I catch a queen or I catch a club, maybe my hand will be good. But I don't have overcards here, so obviously a king or a jack aren't going to help me. But without a club in my hand, I probably won't even take one off. And I guess we got another update on Shirley here. Just for your information, she is killing the 30-60 Omaha game. Good for her. Well, good. You know what?
Well, that's the other thing, too. I intend, and maybe she'll play it also. Usually you don't get high-limit live Omaha games, Dave. But last year, remember, I went over to that other casino during the LA Poker Classic. And there's like a 30-60/40, 30-60 with a 1/3 kill Omaha game
Where
that
is it?
follows the WPT Tour
Right.
around. And that's a game I'm looking forward to playing in the upcoming months.
Well, a lot of professional poker players
Raise.
actually don't have a home, and they don't really play tournaments either.
Right.
But they will follow the tournament circuit and play the cash games that follow the circuit.
There's a lot of dead money coming into the cash games when someone steams off a lot of cash after taking, say, like a bad beat in a tournament, right?
Yeah. My wife keeps pushing me. She keeps going, let's buy an A1. An A1 is one of those huge, really nice trailers now. But, I mean, they're, like, really, like, decked out. I mean, marble floors and, you know, plasma TVs and so forth. She wants to buy an A1 and drive around the country following the poker tours.
Now, we got a post here by Hitcherby on 2+2. He says, hey, guys, one of these players is a 2+2er. Can you guess which one? That's an interesting one from what you've seen tonight. I think I have some kind of an idea.
Well, let me see if I can. Let me look at this really quick and take a guess.
There you go.
I'm going to guess Eugene Tanaka,
You asked for it. You got it.
All right, let's gamble.
which is the player in seat 2.
I think you're right.
That's my guess.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was going to say seat 4 is a possibility, too.
Come on. Let's grab it. Got it.
Isaac's guessing seat 9, which is Alex Connor.
Well, we had a raise and a re-raise. Francois, 3-bet. And Williams in there. And I believe somebody's capped it.
Well,
And Antonio's capped it with Jack 9. So 4 players times 4 bets, 16 small bets in the pot.
and Francois in great shape. He couldn't even. I mean, he probably thinks he's dead, but he's in great shape.
G-tone Francois, and he flops a set.
And that's the case Jack there.
Set of jacks, and he's going to bet.
Now, normally in a capped pot, that's a great flop because you got to figure somebody's got an ace, right?
Right.
But it's actually he's going to get no action on this. I don't think. Well, Antonio might call him down.
Well, no one has an ace, right?
3 players.
And Danny's in there with pocket 8, Steve.
Well, here comes an 8. Watch.
Oh, that's a 6. And both players are now drawing dead. And Antonio's just going to keep calling. And Danny's going to keep calling. Wow.
I want it. Roll me. Roll me on the 500.
River's a 4.
Francois is still good, and he's betting away.
And is he gonna get called in 2 spots?
Nah, Danny can't overcall, can he?
Wow. Unbelievable.
I mean, it's one thing to lay down ace-king, but come on, lay down 8s here, buddy.
3 jacks.
3 jacks. Francois takes down a nice pot.
I mean, it's capped free flop. Can 8s really be the best hands?
More jacks out there? Check the... One more jack, maybe?
8 jack, I was playing slow.
No more jacks, huh?
4 8.
Look at this email from mgmgal at ucla.edu. I assume that's a girl. She says Alex is a hottie in seat 9.
Wow, okay. I'll tell Alex to head over down to Westwood then. Obviously, this email's from somebody at
Some cute
UCLA.
girls over there in Westwood.
Yeah. I used to hang out when I first moved out here.
Busbees?
When I first moved out here, I actually rented a
Not Busbees,
room in a frat house.
Oh, really?
During the summer, when I first moved out here, I didn't have any money, and I paid like $300 for the summer.
What's that Westwood Brewery? What's the other? It's not Busbees. There's another
Raise it.
UCLA bar. We get a raise here by seat 5.
2 players.
And we are heads up.
Harold's in the hand with Ron.
Jack 9 and Queen 10. Harold hits top pair.
Yeah,
he
he's
checks.
outflopped him.
Ron's going to bet. Let's see how Harold plays it.
Call.
He just calls. Turns another 10. He's got trip 10s. And this one goes check,
And he
check.
checks it. I mean,
And
well,
the river's a jack. Well,
I guess
now
it's one of those times you
he's going
can
to get paid off, probably.
Call.
King jack.
Queen 10's going to take it down. 3 10s.
I mean, I guess you can check there with the hope that Ron catches his overcard.
Right.
I'm really curious to see who got it right. Isaac was voting on Alex in seat 9. I think Evelyn, our producer, is also voting for Alex.
With the King 3 hand? Are you kidding me?
You kind of wonder, though. Do you think Isaac actually thinks he's a 2+2, or you think Isaac is like the emailer? He just thinks Alex is hot also.
I guess that was funny in a very roundabout way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More so than
What's the problem, Dave?
7.
I guess you can't mess with the technical guy, huh? As he's muted me.
Now, you just saw there they got a new setup there, Dave, and the dealer checked all the cards because the cards are actually hand set up. They're reused, and basically, you know, we have somebody actually who works next door to us in this room, you know, puts the cards together, so it's all done by hand. So, you know, sometimes there's an occasional mistake, and it's the dealer's responsibility to make sure that there's exactly 52 cards.
It has happened, actually, where the dealer, because if it's not a right deck and you get a jackpot, the jackpot is disqualified.
Yeah. Oh, God, that's...
Can you imagine if a dealer does that? Oh.
Well, that's why when you win when a jackpot happens at the table, you'll see that they will check all of the cards that were in play and make sure they were all there.
Once again, you can catch us all week this week, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9. But next week, we're switching it up, and we're going to make it from 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific time.
That's right. And I have to tell my boss, Rick Cloward, that, so he can change my schedule.
All right. I know your schedule normally you come in 1 to 9. I guess you'll come in 2 to 10 now.
2 to 10 isn't that big of a difference. Obviously, it's not going to hit
No,
traffic.
traffic-wise, that's fine.
Yeah. Raised here by King Jack Antonio in seat 1. Seat number 6 is going to call with Ace 7 offsuit. Yeah, seat 2's really played it tight the entire night, Dave.
Well, tight aggressive.
Yeah.
I know we've seen him raise in the turn a couple times nicely. We'll see.
Three-way action. Queen, Jack, 6. Well, Antonio's got middle pair, but Alex has got top pair. And Alex checks it.
Alex actually bet it.
Oh, he did bet.
Yeah, he bet it. He threw some money in there.
Antonio's going to raise with second pair here.
Raise with second pair, no draw. No diamond in his hand.
Alex is going to call.
Alex doesn't have much of a kicker, so.
Turns a king, and there's 2 pair for Antonio.
I guess he knew it was coming, huh?
Well, Alex has got a gut shot to a 10 here. Alex checks blind.
He needs a 10 or a queen.
River's an 8. That's not going to do it. Wow, Antonio checks right behind him. Well, I guess it's the third diamond. And Alex did check blind.
Right,
so.
he checked blind.
But again, I mean,
somebody
against somebody who's a non-tricky player, Dave, you know, you can safely probably bet the river and fold to a check raise, right?
You know what, though? Usually when somebody checks blind in the river, it's because they have second pair or top pair, no kicker.
Yeah.
Rarely does somebody check blind with a draw. Just a little bit of tell there.
Yeah.
Interesting email from Barry Woods. He's talking about obviously no limit being better than limit. And he's saying, well, some of these guys, they suck out in limit hold'em. As if, you know, players didn't get sucked out on in no limit hold'em also. I mean, the same fish that you're making money on in limit hold'em, you're making money on a no limit hold'em as well.
Seat 5 brought it in with a raise, Ace 10 offsuit, 3 bet by Danny with Ace King, and Antonio's going to call 2 bets cold in the big blind with 6-3 offsuit. And he's got the best hand here with bottom pair. Out flops them all.
Yeah, 18 minutes to the magic end. So the pressure.
See how this one plays out.
Yeah.
Gets checked around. The turn's a queen. Let's see if Antonio throws a little bet out here, Dave. It is a Broadway card.
Yeah, he's got some cards to dodge here. He's got to dodge an ace, a king, or a 10.
What are you thinking, if you don't mind me asking?
Now, neither one of these players has hearts or clubs. So, you'd imagine they just lay it down here.
I'm more of a gin drinker.
How are we going to put up? Oh, it's too sweet.
Ooh, a gin drinker?
I see.
Gin and tonic.
Well, Danny's going to peel here again on the turn.
Good gin. That's the best.
Needs an ace or a king to come off. It does not come.
Whatever it is, should be good.
And I think Hitcherby, Dave, is confirming the fact that we were right about seat 2.
Seat 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's we were right now.
The only
You jumped on Jesse. I jumped on seat 2. And you go, we were right.
Actually, I gave you a hand signal that was a seat 4, but then I agreed with you when you
Right.
said seat 2.
It's kind of funny, like if USC had won, you would have been like, yeah, good thing that you and I were right, Dave.
Button moves over here to seat 9.
In that USC game, I tell you. Talk about the hazards of betting on sports.
Oh, look at this. Shirley said, Bart, you're one sick commentator if you know that Kathy Liebert was on at 8/16, but I was actually wrong. It was 8/6/05. She was actually back on in March, too. March 16th. So
Pretty
says
impressive,
Johnny
though.
E.
You said 8-16. It was 8-6.
All right, I need to get you
Two
out.
pair here for Antonio. 8-4. Ace-king raised. Pre-flop. Antonio called. Turns to 6. Now, Jesse's got the king of clubs in his hand, so he might call here again. And he does. Here we go to the river. Doesn't get anything.
And Antonio's, you think he's going to...
And look at this. Antonio checks at the end.
And once again, we see people, checking when it's not a complete monster.
One more club.
I don't know if Jesse would have called him down, but sometimes people will call down with ace-king.
Well, Dave, we normally do our 3 to 5 or 200 game tomorrow, so you probably can count on one of those games.
Obviously,
Do you
Wednesday's
think
going to
anyone
way
would
out
be
game
interested
back.
in seeing a 100 game on occasionally? I mean, that really, really is, super, super restricted buy-in game. No?
I personally, the 100 game is, unless you catch it a little bit later on, and
Right.
in that case, why not just bring a $200 game?
Right.
The $100 game, when it starts out, it's just so restrictive. You don't get to see too much post-flop play, to be
Right.
honest with you.
Pocket Jacks here for seat 2. That's the 2+2er, and he's in the small blind, it looks like. And look at this. The button's going to raise with King Jack, and I'm sure this guy's going to 3-bet, and he does. There it is.
Yeah, he wants to isolate. He loves being to Antonio's left. He's
Look
been
at this.
raising Antonio all day.
There's one king left in the deck, so if this goes heads up, he's in great shape.
Francois not going to call 2 bets with King 8 of diamonds, is he?
Wow, and he open limped with King 8 of diamonds in early position, too.
Well, that's a no-limit hold'em player's mistake.
I mean, is that a monster, a no-limit hold'em?
I was going to say, I don't even like calling it no-limit hold'em, but...
And actually, it's Antonio actually has ace-5. I thought he had King Jack. Keep confusing him with seat 1 and seat 9.
Oh.
So he's got ace-5. Well, he's hit a 5. Eugene comes out and bets. There's one over on board, queen 5-3. Antonio calls. Turns a 7. It's a spade. Now, Eugene's got the jack of spades, so Antonio needs to catch an ace. And look at this. He's going to raise the turn.
Wow, and this is the first time I've seen him
First time he's made a
raise.
move. And the funny thing, this might work. The only thing that might save Eugene here that he might call is because he's got the jack of spades in his hand, Dave.
But he might be drawing dead. He doesn't know it.
I mean, you wouldn't fault the guy for making a lay now because Antonio hasn't done this all night.
Not at all.
And the
Good
river's
players
a
make-
deuce. Let's
yeah,
see what happens.
Good players lay down winning hands all the time.
He's going to bet. Oh, Eugene's going to call. Called him all the way.
And I got to tell you, that's a good play by Antonio. He gave it a shot. It didn't work.
Yeah.
He tried to represent. It didn't work.
Jack's going to take it down there. Would you fault that guy for, say, check folding on the river, or was
Not
the
at
pot
all.
just too big?
No, not at all. I mean, I wouldn't have faulted him for
Folding it
for
on the
folding
turn.
on the turn. Thinking,
Well, I think he would have folded the turn if he didn't have the jack of spades in his hand.
yeah,
I
he
mean,
might
we
even
can
think that he's
never know.
drawing dead. He might put the other guy on an ace-high flush.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, we haven't seen Antonio bluff raise all day. He's been bluffing, but not with a check raise. That's a strong bluff there. We don't see that often in an 8-16 game. The check raise bluff in this game. I mean, to be honest with you, I might have laid that down.
Limped around here.
Interesting email here from Katja Austin, wanting to know if internet poker is legit.
Set of 7s here for Ron, but no one has an ace. It's a rainbow board, and it gets checked around to Alex, who bets again as a bluff. See how Ron's going to play this out of position, Dave.
Yeah, I think all poker sites are corrupt,
Now,
except for LA Poker Scene, of course.
Right. So Ron is check raised here. No, he just called. He just called. Turns an 8. Now Alex has got a flush draw. This is a perfect time to take a card, but he bets again. And he's going to get popped here. He's drawing dead as Ron fills up here on the turn.
Now, this is one of those times where you can raise it anyway. You get Danny out probably, but Alex is probably going to call anyway with the spade draw. And if he hits it, he's going to lose more money.
Yeah, because Alex probably thinks that Ron's doing this with an 8. And here we go to the river. Well, the river's a 6, and 4-5 would have made it straight.
Yeah, I was going to say sometimes you want to keep in the 4-5, but
Yeah.
you know what, though? If he's got a real draw, sometimes they call anyway. But he had the bottom end of a gut shot, so.
Would you have taken the card there with the king-queen suited? Now, obviously, you're going to, someone with an 8, we've been seeing people call with middle pair the whole way, and you can't beat ace-rag. And by betting the turn, there's no way someone's going to fold ace-rag on this table. So is there really a lot of bet value in betting the turn there with king-queen suited? I mean, you bet the flop, you bought yourself position. Why not take the free card there on the turn?
Yeah, it's not a bad play. You might put yourself in a tough spot if the flop was ace 8-7, right?
Right.
If somebody says has 9-10, you've now given them a free card themselves. And if you miss and they bet out, you've now induced that bluff. What do you do then? You can't call them with king high.
Eugene raised here. King 10 of diamonds.
But obviously, I mean, I'm a big proponent of taking free cards and limit hold'em. Actually, no limit as well sometimes.
What are you going to play? You're done?
Here we go. Heads up. 4-5 against king 10. Eugene's hit top pair, and Antonio, you know, he might pay him off the whole way here, Dave. He's hit bottom pair. Bet, call.
And you wonder, is Eugene going to bet the whole way with top pair? Well,
now he's got trips. Antonio's drawing dead now. Oh, and Antonio's not going to call him.
Got an
Eugene
email
shows
here
the
from
king.
Brian Lussier talking about the Doyle Brunson hand. And thanks a lot for that. Appreciate the kind words.
This is going to be the last hand of the night. So join us tomorrow. It will probably be the 200 game or the 3-5 game.
Good guess. And Wednesday is a return to our whale game. Now we're
right.
back on Wednesday. Thursday, obviously, we normally have our 5-10 no limit game. And then
Right.
Friday's our big game, 10-20 no limit game. We do promise one of these days we're going to get an Omaha game on this board. One of these days.
Limped around. 5-way action. Deuce 3-3. No one really hit anything here.
Now, this is one of those, if I have overcards like Antonio has, 5-6, I think, okay, maybe if I hit a 4, a 5, or a 6, I'm good.
Well, Antonio bet. Jesse raised with a wheel draw. Ron's going to fold. Danny can't call 2 bets cold here with ace-7 of spades, can he?
No, I don't think so. Well, he shouldn't call. I mean, can he do it? Yeah, of course he can.
I guess the answer is yes. Harold's out of there.
What's 8 chips?
And Danny's hand's good right now. He has the best hand. Turns to 10. Jesse picks up a flush draw now with his wheel draw in seat 4. And he had raised it, so he's going to bet again. This actually should get both players out, right?
Yeah, I would imagine so. Although Antonio still has the gut shot, and he's going to keep going for
He
it.
needs to hit a 5,
And
a 6, or a 4 that's not a club.
He
Here we
checked
go to the
blinds.
river. River's a king. Jesse, might think he needs to bet here to win. He bets. And he's going to take it down.
And that's going to do it, huh?
And funny enough, ace high would have been good.
I guess you'll go home and see.
And Jesse takes it down.
Does it? What a great way to start off the Live the Bike week with a little 8-16 Hold'em, Dave.
Yeah.
Please join us tomorrow for our either 200 or 300 to 500 restricted buy-in no limit Hold'em game. For everyone here in the booth and for Dave Tuckman, I'm Bart Hanson. Good night, everybody, from Live the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.